Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Giant Ship Galaxy, From Junk Ship to Starship. Chapter 81. The Splendid Galaxy is a full 360,000 light-years away from the Milky Way. 360,000 light-years. Theoretically, it takes light 360,000 years to travel. How fast is light? They have to travel 360,000 light-years, it is conceivable. How far is the distance? Cruisers are equipped with space jump engines. This distance is actually no problem for cruisers. The space jump engine performs a space jump, starting from a distance of 10,000 light-years. However, the brilliant No can't do it. In other words, those below cruisers are not good, they are all equipped with pulse jump engines. For that thing, you have to jump 360,000 times to 1 light-year at a time. Let alone whether you can jump that many times, even if you can hold on, the fuel is far from enough. So, this time the two are going to a beautiful federal military star system about 960 light-years away from the solar system. There is a wormhole jump gate controlled by the Federal Army. That stargate is also a stargate that directly leads to the Splendid Galaxy. Stargates are different from the teleportation arrays in fantasy, immortality, and magic. It cannot be said that wherever it is sent, it will be sent there. The wormhole transition stargate is mainly composed of wormholes in 2 regions of the universe. A wormhole transition stargate, only one transition channel. Like the Milky Way, there are many such wormhole transition stargates, which are controlled by different federal military star systems. These stargates lead to different large galaxies. The Splendid Federation military star system is 960 light-years away, and it would take a full 32 days just to catch up to the time spent, even if the pulse transition is performed non-stop, calculated at 30 light-years a day. Besides, it is definitely not possible to rush on the road like this. The Starship can survive, the fuel can survive, and people can't survive. According to what Haitang said, jump a certain distance every day, and go to a nearby star system halfway, or take a rest at a space relay station. Then refuel the Starship. It will take about 58 days to arrive. Fortunately, after passing through the Stargate and arriving at the Splendid Galaxy. The Stargate leading to the Milky Way controlled by the Galaxy Federation military star system is relatively close to the Shenzhou star system. 330 light-years, and it can be reached in a month at most. That is to say, this journey, just on the road, will consume a full 3 months. Perhaps this is also a shortcoming of the interstellar age of the universe. The universe is just too big and vast. The 3-month voyage seems to have been a long time, and it has traveled a long way. Actually, not taking the universe into consideration, this distance is just a drop in the ocean for the area controlled by the Earth Federation alone. Shu Zian, I have already sent the route to your optical brain, jump according to this direction. Haitang said in the communicator. By the way, what is your transition speed? Shu Zian glanced at the virtual projection of the star map given by the optical computer in the cockpit, and replied, my current jump limit is 1.8 light-years, the time is 33 minutes, and it takes 8 minutes to recharge. Tisk tisk, I can only say that it is worthy of the red excellence. Haitang sighed. Okay, I understand. I will adjust the jump distance to be the same as yours. Shu Zian nodded. Good. Say no more. 2 starships, one large and one small, started their pulse jump engines one after another and entered the jump mode. Haitang will keep the same route and distance with Shu Zian throughout the journey. Her mission is to protect Shu Zian from arriving safely. The star crystal optical brain of the brilliant star began to broadcast. Preparing for a pulse transition, the distance of this transition is 1.2 light-years. The countdown to the leap. 10, 9, 1. The jump starts. The familiar space is distorted and colorful. Due to the gaze, I can no longer see a specific scene clearly, and everything is distorted. This 1.8 light-year jump takes a total of 33 minutes. Taking advantage of this time, Shu Zian straightened his waist. Get up and go back to the captain's living room to practice. Biology can cultivate. There are no such things as gongfa and mental methods. The cultivation of bioenergetics is to absorb energy. Try to take exercise as much as possible when consuming energy, and take this energy as one's own. Practicing at the same time is actually exercising. Exercise your limits. stimulate the potential of the human body, stimulate the growth and increase of biological energy in the human body. This is the way of bioenergy cultivation. There is no such thing as mysterious and mysterious devouring the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Energy intake is to eat, and the best and highest quality energy is undoubtedly those treasures that contain a lot of biological energy. Xu Ziyan does not have Tianxia Bao, but he has wealth. He found out a large amount of wealth is directly converted into biological energy. The reason why my body can't bear it is actually because my body is too weak. But as long as you practice hard, the amount of biological energy you convert every day can be increased. And there will be no feeling that the body is bursting. With a thought, 5 points of wealth, instantly converted into 5 points of bioenergy. A huge biological energy suddenly appeared and surged in the body. Xu Ziyan hurriedly put the 300-kilogram barbell on the ground on his shoulders and started squatting. 300 kilograms. It's nothing to Xu Ziyan. After all, in the 21st century, the record of the best weightlifting champion is to lift 220 kilograms. And Xu Ziyan is a 5th-level fighter. 300 kilograms is not easy, but it will not be too difficult. Squat again and again. Soon it was profusely sweating. But after the body started strenuous exercise, the huge biological energy that was originally shocking the body was uncomfortable. It is also gradually absorbed by the body quickly and gradually calms down. Inside the TOZO-108 space relay station. Stopping and stopping, Xu Ziyan and Haitang, who have jumped for more than half a month, are dining in a foreign restaurant in this space relay station. The so-called foreign restaurant is just as the name suggests. It's unorthodox people. The universe is vast. Hundreds of millions of races. The 3 peak overlord groups in the universe are only the 3 most powerful groups among the billions of groups in the universe, and it does not mean that there are only 3 groups in the entire universe. Such as the cosmic human race. There are countless unorthodox human ethnic groups under his command. These unorthodox human races are only slightly different in appearance from the human race. For example, the fox people, cat people, rabbit people. The difference between them and the orthodox human race lies in their ears, tails, height, etc. You can even get married and have children. In the universe, there are indeed many examples of human races marrying and marrying these ethnic groups. There are countless. The restaurant they are in now is a specialty gourmet restaurant of the Zoroya ethnic group. The Zoroa race is a race that is relatively close to the human race in all aspects. It is also very simple to tell the difference between them and humans, just look at their pupils and fingers. There are 2 pupils in each of their eyes, and these 2 pupils can also rotate. The eyeballs cannot move, but the pupils can move, which is amazing. Secondly, each of their hands has 7 fingers. And the fingers are a bit longer than those of humans. Except for the 2-jointed thumb of the human race, the rest of the fingers have 3 joints. But the Zoroa people have 3-jointed thumbs and 4-jointed fingers. In fact, it's pretty much the same. Anyway, everything else is the same. Even the physical structure of men and women is like this. Speaking of the structure of men and women, the body structures of men and women are generally different from those of human beings. The human race classifies them as non-human races. Not even unorthodox humans, such as the inhumans and the insects. Zergs lay a lot of eggs, but humans don't have this kind. The inhumans are even more outrageous. They do not distinguish between men and women, nor are they male or female. Reproduction relies solely on fission. Well, just like cells. Zoroya people are famous for their specialties. Try it. Haitang signaled Xu Ziyan to order. At the dining table next to them, several Zoroyans wearing space armor and looking like Starship captains were eating. After hearing the conversation between the 2, one of them immediately enthusiastically introduced Xu Ziyan, human race. You must have never tasted our Zanroa delicacies, right? I suggest you really try it, you won't be disappointed. I highly recommend our signature dish of Zoroa, frosted mushroom. It must be delicious. Xu Ziyan laughed, nodded and said, okay, then I'll have a serving of frosty meat mushrooms. Of course he knew the Zanroya people. I have learned this before when I was studying the history and development of billions of people in the universe. It is one of the unorthodox human groups affiliated with the cosmic human race. The fighting power is not bad. At the same time, There are many biological captains of the Zoroian people in the universe, and the group is also very large. They belong to one of the medium-sized groups of the subordinate people. This is also the first time that Shuzian has truly seen ethnic groups other than the human race in reality. Knew it. This person needs to come out more. Just come out and walk around. Only then did I realize how big the world is. The vastness of the universe. While waiting for the food to be served, Shuzian finally couldn't help it anymore, raised his head and asked helplessly, I said, how long are you going to stare at me? Isn't it just that the cultivation is faster and the biological ability is improved faster? You are also one of the top 10 geniuses of the Earth Federation. Are you no less talented than me? Hearing Shuzian's words, Haitang held her smooth forehead with her slender fingers and was speechless for a while. For a while. I can't tell whether Shuzian is Versailles or not. How long is this? Before Shuzian's college entrance examination, he only broke through the 5th rank. It's almost 10 days since the college entrance examination. It looks like half a month of sailing now. Just a month and a few days at most. You tell me that your biological energy is already full. Are you going to evolve the brilliant to the 6th level? And now you tell me. Is this just because the cultivation is a little faster and the biological ability is improved a little faster? Do we have different opinions on the word, Dian, which means, too fast? Just this morning, cosmic time, when they were still jumping and sailing, Shuzian suddenly said that his creatures were at full value, and he wanted to see if he could find a place for the brilliant number to evolve. Everyone in Haitang who heard this was dumbfounded. A month ago, I just reached level 5. In 1 month, it will be level 6. Shuzian's brilliant account is about to evolve. Of course she wouldn't stop it. Strength naturally increases faster and faster. Looking at Shuzian's natural look, Haitang knew what was going on and didn't ask any more questions or look for discomfort. The food was served quickly. To be honest, the food of the Zoroa people is famous in the universe, and there is a reason for it. In terms of taste, there's really nothing to say. And that frosty meat mushroom is a specialty ingredient of the Zoroa people. A meaty mushroom that tastes cool and refreshing. It's the kind of meat that's real meat. Coupled with the craftsmanship of the Zoroa people, the taste is truly amazing. Do you still have enough money? If not, I can lend you some. While eating, Haitang suddenly asked, I see you invested a lot of money in this ship, the Brilliance. The quality is so high. If you want to evolve once and keep the quality, it should cost a lot of money, right? Shuzian took a sip of the glass passion wine and felt the hundreds of floral aromas and dozens of different flavors that the wine burst out in his mouth. Then he smiled and replied, no need. I already had a lot of money left, so I gave Qin Fuyu the Weiyu number to evolve. Her parents gave me a remuneration of 2 million. Together, it's more than 3 million, which is enough. Speaking of Qin Fuyu's parents, Haitang couldn't help but want to laugh. The day before departure, she received a message from Fuyu's mother asking about Shuzian and Qin Fu's use. Her mother was very regretful after learning that she had only seen that Qin Fuyu liked Shuzian, but not that Shuzian must like Qin Fuyu. Keep your words inside and out, and keep yourself busy to make things right. However, Haitang said yes, but did not take any action. She did not intend to get involved in the relationship issues between Shuzian and Qin Fuyu. Faintly, I felt a little unhappy. She couldn't catch what specifically made her unhappy. Anyway, I am quite unwilling to take the initiative to match them. This time it evolved. Not only did he spend the more than 3 million yuan left in Shuzian's hand, he only had the last 300,000. Even the evolution value is almost exhausted. Of course, the exhaustion mentioned here is when the last evolution value that is enough to save one's life is retained. Exactly 100 evolution points. Shuzian will never use 100 evolution points except in times of crisis. But what was left after killing the human traders, as well as the 80 points of biological energy that he had when he reached the full level of a 5th grade warrior, were all used up. The full state of a 5th grade warrior is full of bioenergy. Now, Xian is already at the 6th level. The full value of the 6th grade is 450. It is necessary to cultivate a full 90 biological energy to reach the full state of breaking through the 7th level. The reason why the evolution value is consumed so quickly. It's also because the quality of the Qianhao is so high. High quality has its benefits. Strong fighting ability and strong survivability. But the biggest drawback, that is, when the quality is high, it evolves to the next level while ensuring quality translation, that is, the quality does not decline or improve. It also consumes much more evolution points than the evolution of low-quality starships. To use a simpler metaphor, it is for example, it takes about 50 evolution points to upgrade a white ordinary quality starship from 5 to 6. Then Xu Xian's brilliant number needs to spend at least 300 evolution points to upgrade from 5 to 6. Even more. In fact, this is one of the main reasons why high-quality starships are extremely rare in the current universe. Evolutionary value is extremely scarce. Unless Xu Xian does not translate the red excellent quality, only evolution is guaranteed but not quality. Then the required evolution value will be much less. But, just think about it, you can't do something stupid like that. Anyway, let Xu Xian rise from 6 to 7 now. He can't be promoted no matter what. No evolution value. The brilliant number has evolved to the 6th level, and its performance in all aspects has been further enhanced. As for the perfect quality of pink, apart from N, no one wants to pursue that quality now. First, it was too difficult and he was not 100% sure. Second, there is still no evolution value. Xu Xian even made plans. Not surprisingly, the reconnaissance ship level has red excellent quality. Corvette, perfect in pink. At that time, I believe that I should have learned almost enough. It is also a good time to take advantage of this period to earn evolutionary points. The journey afterwards, Xu Xian saw the true vastness and beauty of the universe. Even if this is only the tip of the iceberg of the universe, not even the tip of the iceberg. But Xu Xian was already dazzled. There is a super huge city where the entire star system has been transformed into one city, and that includes the use of space. There is a floating city with a gaseous planet, and it is said that Shenzhou Academy is a floating school. There are cities made entirely of ice. There are also underground cities that hollow out the interior of a planet. However, most of the people living in the inner cities of the planet are not orthodox humans. Few orthodox humans would like to live in a place like an underground city where they can't see the sun. And this way, did not encounter any danger. With the behemoth Begonia's Kraken next to it, those interstellar pirates would have gone as far as they could. On the way, I encountered several calls for help. There were 3 times because the distance was too far, and it was too late to go. Even if they went there, the people were gone, and those pirates had already jumped. Another time it was not far away, and I went. But by the time they passed, the pirates had already run away, but fortunately they were rescued. None of the evolution points were obtained. It was escorted by Kraken all the way. Safety is safety. Don't even think about the evolution value. Finally 2 months later, arrived in the star system of the splendid Federation Legion. The Legion was named for its destination on the other side of the gate. The advantage is that you can be more clear about where you are going, and you will not go the wrong way. Splendid Federation Legion star system, there are heavy troops stationed here. The Stargate has always been the core area of the Cosmic Haka. If it is attacked by bad guys, it will jump to the other side through this Stargate. Great threat. Just approaching this star system, it is already within the monitoring range. Look from a distance. This star system is not big, only a red dwarf star faintly exudes red light. Next to it, it is a gigantic gate to the starry sky. This is a wormhole. Some wormholes appeared naturally, and some were created by humans later. Then use technology to fix and stabilize the wormhole. Regular maintenance will keep it going for a long time. The Stargate is also the key and core for the Universe Human Federation to control the entire human region. Wherever there is an enemy attack, the army can be sent through the Stargate immediately to suppress it. Except Stargate. Then there are military bases. Some military bases are built in space. Military bases built in space are mainly checkpoints, and only after passing the checkpoints can you enter and use the Stargate. The ground is basically the living area and training area of the soldiers. The families of the soldiers and so on also live on the planet. But what attracted Xu Xian's attention the most was the super cannons. Have you ever seen a gun barrel with a caliber of 338 meters? And it's still small. It is said that the most powerful cannon of the human race in the universe can kill half of a large galaxy like the Milky Way in one shot. I don't know if it's true. Regardless of whether it is true or not, these 338-meter caliber cannons that can be seen everywhere in front of you, let alone being hit by the front. Just touching it once, he would be smashed into powder. Nima, the caliber of this gun is several times larger than his Starship, hit it with a hammer. Identity check, the two naturally have no problems. Passed several levels with ease. In the end, Haitang paid a total of 27 million yuan for the jump, and the two got the tickets for the Stargate space jump. Yes, don't you think this kind of wormhole is free to use? Do not make jokes. Natural very few. Because the natural ones that happen to connect this galaxy to that galaxy are pitifully rare. Basically they are all artificial. The creation of wormholes can be said to be the highest technological pinnacle of human beings in the universe. Its cost is an unimaginable horror figure. How is it possible for you to use it for free? The cost of the Earth Federation is still cheap. Especially the citizens of the Earth Federation, almost only charge you a cost price. So, can you understand why Shuzian said that it may be difficult to return to the solar system for a long time in the future? The time spent on the road is trivial. Shipping costs are really expensive. 27 million, only 1 million is the cost of the brilliant jump. Haitang's Kraken number is too big, so she jumps 26 million times. It's outrageous. Needless to say, the biological captain is making money. But spend money. It is also fiercer than the other. Soon, then it was our turn to line up. Stargate jumping is simple. Just fly directly to the opposite side. Of course, if you insist on flying to the side, you can fly to the side, because the space is turbulent. Maybe I'll jump over to the Zerg for you. Driving the brilliance. Follow Haitang's Kraken. Slowly insert. Enter. Pooh. Sail into the Stargate. Soon. Disappeared into the Milky Way. Milky Way Galaxy, farewell. Splendid Galaxy, here I come. Shenzhou Academy, here I come. The Milky Way Galaxy and the Splendid Galaxy are separated by a full 21.9 million light-years. That's right, it's 10,000 light-years. Even a space jump at the Stargate level. It took a full 29 hours to reach the exit. As soon as he came out, he was scanned by the scanner here. After confirming that the identity information is correct, access will be granted. The star system here is called the Galactic Federation Legion star system. The star here is a brown dwarf. The entire star system looked dim. In other respects, it's pretty much the same. Okay, now that we're here, we're close to the Shenzhou star system. There's only one star system left. Haitang's voice came. Shu Zian sighed. Interstellar voyage sounds like everyone's dream. However, the dullness and boredom of sailing are not something that ordinary people can endure. Have nothing to say. Keep going. This time, the two of them didn't delay any longer on the road. On the 27th day, a binary star system appeared in the field of vision. The Shenzhou star system is a binary star system composed of a red dwarf star and a yellow dwarf star. Yellow dwarfs are farther away and red dwarfs are closer. Red dwarfs have lower temperatures, but with the addition of distant yellow dwarfs, the temperature of the entire star system is quite suitable for human survival even without a stellar control system. Not to mention the star control system controlling it. The main body of the stellar control system is a transparent metal. This transparent metal has super high temperature resistance, so it does not affect the diffusion of light. In other words, the light does not change, what changes is the temperature and the stability of the star. Arrive. Haitang's voice in the communicator also sounded relieved. 3 months of interstellar travel without revealing the body. If the body is tired, you can rest on the starship, but if you are tired, it is the spirit. Only people like Shuzian, who was traveling far away from a large galaxy for the first time, were in high spirits and did not feel tired at all. The entire Shenzhou star system belongs to the territory of our Shenzhou Academy. The Kraken was flying ahead to lead the way, and Haitang introduced to Shuzian. However, our Shenzhou Academy only occupies 10 of the planets. The other 11 planets are all inhabited by ordinary cities and ordinary people. The Federation divided the Chinese star system into our Chinese University. In fact, the main purpose is to let our school take on the obligation of protecting ordinary people in this star system. So, in the Shenzhou star system, there is no federal army garrison, and there are interstellar pirates, all of which are defended by our school. In addition, our Shenzhou star system is extremely prosperous, and there is an endless stream of spaceship fleets. 17. This has led to the endless emergence of interstellar pirates. Because this is the cradle of geniuses, traitors from the human race also appear from time to time. It can be said that our Shenzhou Academy has endless tasks, endless enemies, points and evolution points. As long as you are willing to work hard, you can have as many as you want. Haitang's words made Xu Zian's heart surge. What does he lack most now? He currently lacks the most evolution value. As early as half a month ago, he had already reached the point where the 6th rank warrior had a full value of 450 points of bioenergy. It's just that due to the lack of evolutionary value, in the past half month, I can only stare blankly. This is just the outer courtyard. If it is the inner courtyard, directly on the border, how much evolution value would it have? Of course, going to the border is something I can only think about. He is simply not qualified now. And Haitang was still introducing. The Outer College of Shenzhou University has a total of 5 departments. Star Wars Series, Command System, Evolution Department, Research Department, Cultural Department. You applied for the Evolution Department, and your department is in Henzhou. The other 2 planets, one is the Accommodation Star, which is the planet specially used by teachers and students to live in, and the environment is also the most pleasant. The floating island assigned to you is also on this planet. Of course, you can choose not to live on the floating island. Anyway, the place is very big, you can choose any area as your private dormitory. This is your exclusive privilege. The last one is the Logistics Star, which stores all the family decrees of our Shenzhou Academy. At the same time, this planet is also the most heavily guarded, and it is also the favorite planet for sneak attacks by interstellar pirates and human traders. An introduction. Xu Zian gradually gained a general understanding of Shenzhou University. Can only say, is it worthy of being a university in the interstellar era? What the hell, the territory is directly connected to a star system larger than the solar system. The school directly occupies 7 entire planets. It's just outrageous. It is hard to imagine how big the Shenzhou Academy is. But it is precisely because of this era that the Shenzhou Academy is big. However, the transportation is extremely convenient. In the star system, another hour is up. In Haitang's follow-up explanation, finally entered the Shenzhou star system. Then he took Xu Zian straight to the lodging star. The accommodation star of Shenzhou University is not just about accommodation. The main building, office building, etc. of the school are also here. After all, the environment here is the best. And it's natural. Unlike other planets, it was artificially transformed later, although it is also very good. But it always felt a little less meaningful. The lodging star is not very big, probably a circle smaller than the moon. But the environment is really good, with blue sky and white clouds dotted. Lakes, oceans, forests, mountains, grasslands, deserts, everything. There are no high-rise buildings or steel jungles here. Only occasionally can you see some scattered buildings built in beautiful scenery. Because the high-rise buildings and the main building of the school are built on the floating island. The floating islands are the most peculiar sights here. This is a real floating island, not the kind made of steel. Of course, the floating island must have adopted some floating technology, but it is also a real island floating in the air. One by one, it looks quite shocking. The main building of Shenzhou Academy is the largest floating island here. A floating island with a round body, the milky white buildings on it, and the environment of singing birds and flowers make people feel comfortable when looking at it. There are also thick clouds like cotton candy around, as if they have come to the legendary heaven. The Brilliant followed the Kraken to stop on the landing pad of the main building. There are not many starships on the landing pad. The worst is a destroyer. Cruisers are the most common. There are 3 battleships, but what shocked Xu Zian the most was, here, there is actually a deep space ship. The deep space ship with a length of more than 4,000 meters is like a crawling giant dragon. Shocking, ferocious, and domineering. This is our vice principal's starship, how about it, domineering? Outside the opened cabin door of the Brilliant, Haitang explained. After a pause, he suddenly said, by the way, this vice principal is also the dean of your evolution department. Usually she never shows up, but she suddenly appeared here today. Haitang looked deeply at Xu Zian and said, I'm afraid they came here just for you. Let's go, I'll take you to report at the freshman registration office. Oh, by the way, there is no need to wear a helmet here. The air of the lodging star is the most suitable for human beings, and it is even fresher than that of the earth. Xu Zian looked around while listening to Haitang. It was exactly as Haitang said. The air quality here is really comfortable. Moreover, the surroundings are full of exotic flowers and plants that are different from the earth, and Xu Zian likes it more and more the more he looks at it. Few people were seen on the floating island of the main building of the academy. At least they went all the way to the main building without seeing a single person. Seemingly aware of Xu Zian's doubts, Haitang explained, don't be doubtful. Okay. First of all, it happens to be the 3-month vacation period every year. It will take 5 or 6 days before school officially starts. Currently, among the freshmen, there are only those special recruits, and you are here. Secondly, those old students have either returned to their hometowns, or they have not returned to their hometowns, and they are all performing tasks outside. In 2 days, everyone will come over one after another, and you will see a lot of people, so let's be quieter now. Xu Zian nodded suddenly. Soon, Haitang brought Xu Zian to a very large office. It says, Registration Office for Freshmen of the Evolutionary Department. The door opens automatically to both sides. Then I saw a fat middle-aged woman sitting inside, 3 middle-aged and elderly people, and a girl who huddled in a ball with her head down and dared not speak. As soon as the door opened, the eyes of several people swept over. Skimming Haitang directly, the eyes of the 4 of them finally fixed on Xu Zian. Eyes, just like a searchlight, especially that fat middle-aged woman. The figure showed a speed that didn't match the size, and appeared in front of Xu Zian like a teleportation. The expressions of the other 3 middle-aged and elderly people changed one after another. Also rushed up quickly. That look, full of urgency. Zhan Wushuang, you don't talk about martial arts. We agreed to compete fairly together, so we know you lied to us. Ah, I'm so mad, you're still a dean, so stop. 3 angry shouts reverberated through the office. The chubby middle-aged woman at the front acted as if she didn't hear it, and came to Xu Zian in a flash, grabbed Xu Zian's hand, and was about to drag him out. Everyone in Xu Zian was dumbfounded. What's the situation? Fortunately, these 3 old men are not easy-going people, and they were vigilant, so they surrounded them before they could be dragged away. Those who blew their beard and stared at him thought it was the scene of revenge for those who didn't know. Anyway, Xu Zian was dumbfounded. Behind her, Haitang shrugged helplessly when she saw this situation. Said to Xu Zian, just stay here by yourself. I don't need to do it later, I'll go back to sleep and throw it away. I've been exhausted these days. After finishing speaking, Shi Shiren left regardless of Xu Zian's eyes asking for help. After Haitang left, the smell of gunpowder seemed to be stronger. The fat middle-aged woman said with a cold face, get out of the way. These 3 old men didn't hesitate at all, and they didn't move their steps. A bald old man snorted. Zhan Wushuang, let him go, we will let go. Another old man with a red face also snorted. You are still the dean of our evolution department, you are shameless. The skinny old man at the end was also rude, don't even think about taking him away today. Let's make an agreement, let him choose. What are you doing now? The middle-aged woman's face became even colder. I don't understand what you are talking about. Anyway, I am the dean of the evolution department. Since I am the dean, then he belongs to me. The 3 old men were suddenly furious. Zhan Wushuang, are you really shameless? What is your situation? You don't know what's going on. You don't even understand the evolution of a small reconnaissance ship's parts, and you still want to teach others. That's right, you don't want to mislead your disciples. Such a genius should be taught by us. You'd better go and get a registered evolutionary teacher first before teaching others. The 3 old men immediately spat and sprayed. Hearing these words, Xu Zian was dumbfounded. This moment, he finally understood something. So this middle-aged woman. Is it the dean of the evolution department? That is, the vice principal that Haitang said, let the captain of the deep space ship. Xu Zian's eyes suddenly changed. These three old men who seem to be the teachers of the evolution department. What creepy ghost stories. The dean of a ACBG evolution division. Even the parts of a reconnaissance ship don't understand. And you haven't even passed the exam as a registered evolutionist. That is to say, the dean of the evolution department of Shenzhou Academy is a person who is not even an evolutionist. Xu Ziyan was stunned, although he doesn't really care about the teaching of the evolution division. Because he has a system. There is Master Sha Lao. Under the dual teaching of the system and the master, Xu Ziyan believes that it is no worse than any school's evolution division. The reason why I still applied for the evolution division. The reason is simple. In fact, it is also a little vanity. The Star Wars department of Shenzhou University is the well-deserved #1 in the Earth Federation. But the evolution division is also well-deserved the last one. Xu Ziyan thought about joining the evolution division by himself, to see if he could improve his ranking a bit. Maybe you can get some rewards or something. Besides, although I majored in the evolution department, it doesn't mean that I can't study in the Star Wars department. I heard from Haitang that as long as you pay the corresponding points, you can learn any course in any department. But now, he expressed a little panic. The evolution department of Shenzhou University seems a little too unreliable. How can there be such a dean? The middle-aged woman's face turned red and white suddenly. Gritting his teeth, he said, "That's the Evolutionary Association's blind eyes." After a pause, I knew that I would definitely not have an advantage in arguing with them in this regard. Immediately, he rolled his eyes, and said again, "Who said that I will be his evolutionist's mentor? I want to be his mentor in Star Wars and personal combat. You can't take care of this, can you? Get out of the way." Obviously, the three old men will not be fooled by her so easily. Seeing the middle-aged woman being so aggressive, they really felt a little angry. The skinny old man said angrily, "Zhan Wushwang. Don't think that we don't know what you're thinking. Don't you just feel that you really don't have the talent of an evolutionist, and you've been ridiculed by your peers all the time, so you want to take the title of tutor Xu Ziyan to save face for yourself? But how can this kind of thing mislead your children just because you want to save face? Xu Ziyan is definitely the top talent who has been in the evolutionary division for so many years. He was already a first-grade evolutionist certified by the Evolutionists Association 3 months ago. And you haven't passed the evolutionary test, so it's not bad for someone to be your mentor." The old man looked thin, but his voice and temper were not small. The roar made Zhan Wushwang's face turn black. The two old men next to him hurriedly and secretly pulled the thin old man's skirt, motioning him to keep his voice down and stop irritating Zhan Wushwang so much. But the skinny old man was obviously agitated, his neck was snarled, and he said loudly, "What are you afraid of? What is there to be afraid of? I will never allow such a seedling to be destroyed by her Zhan Wusho. Yes, I can't beat her, so what? As teachers, we must not just let Miaozi be ruined like this. It's a big deal to get beaten up again. What's the big deal? Come on, even if you, Zhan Wushwang, beat me to death today, I won't let you do whatever you want. Fighting in Star Wars, we recognize you, but evolution, you just can't." The thin old man blew his beard and stared, without giving in. The atmosphere froze instantly. Xu Ziyan, who was silent the whole time, seemed to be a bit out of order seeing the atmosphere at this moment. Finally, he coughed lightly, and said cautiously, "Then what? Teachers, Dean, would you like to listen to me?" Several people looked at him in unison. Suddenly remembered. They are arguing here, and it seems that they haven't listened to their own opinions. Seeing those eyes that seemed to eat him, Xu Ziyan smiled helplessly. Spreading his hands, he said, "Several teachers. Sorry, I already have my own body. The reason why I applied for the Department of Evolution is purely because I think this department has few people and is clean. So, in terms of evolution, I don't plan to choose a mentor. Thank you to the teachers for their kindness. Instructor, in this day and age, is actually a modern name for master. It's not the same as those university tutors in the 21st century. It is a true master-student relationship. Xu Ziyan has been apprenticed to Mr. Shaw. Since it is impossible to apprentice again. Of course, a teacher is a teacher and a mentor is a mentor. You can ignore the instructor. But Xu Ziyan will definitely go to the classes of several teachers if he can. This is not a conflict. It's just that if you don't have a mentor, as a teacher, you won't do your best, such as private tutoring after class, or even giving various resources and so on. That's the difference. As soon as Shu Ziyan said this, the expressions of these people instantly froze on their faces. Then, all of their faces were suddenly filled with anger. Anger at Shu Ziyan's mentor. In their view, this is not picking their peaches. They want to see it. Who the hell is so brave? How dare you pick the peaches from their Shenzhou Academy? Who is it? Who is your teacher? HMPH, don't you know that you have applied for the evolution division of our Shenzhou Academy? You are also accepted as an apprentice. This is poaching our corner. Shu Ziyan, tell us, when was your mentor? The three old men stared and asked. If it is said that Shu Ziyan became a teacher, it was in the past. Then they have nothing to say. But if Shu Ziyan, the mentor, worshipped when his evolutionary talent was well known to everyone, then he would be suspected of poaching the corner of their Shenzhou Academy. Maybe it's not too accurate to say that, but they don't care so much. Their half-dead evolutionist department has finally ushered in such a super top evolutionary evildoer. It is up to him whether he can raise the ranking of the evolution division. Although Zhan Wushwang didn't speak, his eyes were fixed on Shu Ziyan, and he looked like he was gearing up for a violent person. Shu Ziyan replied honestly, I became a teacher a long time ago. At that time, there wasn't even a special recruitment exam. In addition, my master's name is Sha Dongliu, do you know the teachers? The angry expressions of several people suddenly froze on their faces. Zhan Wushwang slowly opened his mouth wide, and froze in an instant when he was gearing up. Just staring at Shu Ziyan foolishly. Quite a while. The thin old man tremblingly asked, who do you say is your master? Sha Dongliu is your master. Shu Ziyan nodded. Several people looked at each other in blank dismay. Zhan Wushwang was speechless. Another half-sound passed. Several old men looked strange, but still sighed. With a weird expression on his face, he clasped his fists at Shu Ziyan and bowed, I've seen my little uncle. Zhan Wushwang opened his mouth, finally coughed lightly, opened it slightly and went to buy it. Shu Ziyan was stunned. He knew that his master was very good. Isn't this a bit too bullshit? The circle of evolutionists is strictly hierarchical, and seniority is extremely important. Don't talk about age, just talk about seniority. Looking at Shu Ziyan's bewildered expression, the bald old man stroked his bald head, smiled wryly and said, young master uncle doesn't know something. Sha Dongliu Sha Lao is the pride of our entire Earth Federation. Let's put it this way, as long as they are the evolutionists of our Earth Federation, the older ones, most of them have listened to Mr. Sha's lectures. As long as you have listened to the lectures, you are a student. And as a disciple of Mr. Sha, your seniority is higher than ours, so you have to be our little uncle. Shu Ziyan was stunned. Zhan Wushwang showed a lack of interest at the moment, waved his hand and said, okay, you go to sign up. Xiao Yuan, Shu Ziyan will be handed over to you, and I will bring him to get acquainted with us later. I have to leave first. Shu Ziyan, you don't have a mentor in Star Wars, right? Zhan Wushwang stared at Shu Ziyan and asked. Seeing Shu Ziyan shaking his head, Zhan Wushwang was immediately satisfied, nodded and said, that's okay. I will be your mentor in Star Wars from now on, is there any problem? It seems that he feels that he is too strong, afraid of arousing Shu Ziyan's rebellious thoughts. Immediately and busy, he added, in terms of Star Wars, I will definitely be your mentor. Did you see the deep space ship outside? Mine. I am the real captain of the deep space ship, with the strength of the Emperor of War. I, Zhan Wushwang, don't care about Star Wars or personal battles. If I say that I am the second among the teachers in the school, who would dare to say that I am the first? You worship me as your mentor, you will definitely not suffer. In addition, I will also carefully teach you the knowledge and experience of Star Wars and personal warfare. I know that your talents in Star Wars and personal war are extremely high, but that's only for scout ships and warrior class. You don't necessarily understand the higher level fighting methods. Shu Ziyan shook his head helplessly. Star Wars mentor, of course he is fine. What's more, Zhan Wushwang looks really awesome. At least the three teachers from the evolution department are more timid in front of Zhan Wushwang. He is also a real captain of a deep space ship, so there is no problem for him to learn from his teacher. After all, other students would not be able to worship the teacher if they wanted to. No longer thinking about it, he cupped his fists and bowed and shouted, "Disciple Shuzian, pay homage to master." Tutor is just a modernized title for master, or a title in school. In fact, Shuzian prefers to call him master. But it doesn't matter whether it's a mentor or a master, it's the same. You can yell as much as you want, it doesn't matter. Zhang Wushuang was completely satisfied now. He patted Shuzian on the shoulder and smiled so hard that his lips reached to his ears. "Okay. You first follow your senior sister to get familiar with this place. Also receive what is yours. When we are free later, let's have a good chat. You go ahead now." Shuzian nodded. Zhang Wushuang walked away with a smile. The three old men shook their heads regretfully and soon left happily. Although it was a bit regretful not to accept Shuzian as a disciple. But Shuzian also belongs to their evolution division. Any achievements you get in the future will also be a part of their evolution. Good thing, good thing. I won't disturb him today, so as not to frighten him and scare him away. If you want to understand, it will take a lot of time in the future. Several people left one after another. Only Shuzian and the senior sister who hadn't been paying attention were left. At this time, he looked towards the senior sister, who happened to be looking at Shuzian curiously. Seeing what Shuzian looked like, she was so frightened that she lowered her head, her little face. Unconsciously, she turned slightly red. Shuzian was stunned for a while. He looked carefully just now. This senior sister turns out to be a bunny girl. The pair of bunny ears are the most obvious symbol. White ears, but there is a little pink and tender inside the ears, and the pair of rabbit ears hang down naturally, very beautiful. And this senior seems to be extremely good looking. Although it was a hasty gesture, it was enough to surprise Shuzian. And those big eyes with red pupils, simple, shy, and timid. At this moment, he was secretly watching Shuzian. Shuzian smiled and said, "Sister, are we sure we want to stand like this?" The rabbit human senior sister came back to her senses, hurriedly said in a flustered and shy way, "No, no. My name is Bai Xiaoyuan, yes, I belong to the rabbitman race. Student Shuzian, I will sign up for you now, just wait." After speaking, he trotted over to get some optical brain and other things, and started to operate it for Shuzian. After working hard, Bai Xiaoyuan is not as shy and timid anymore. Those eyes with big red pupils stared at the light brain and processed it seriously. The pair of drooping rabbit ears moved from time to time, which made Shuzian really want to touch it. However, relying on strong self-control to control this evil idea. Student Shuzian, your treatment is so high. Shuzian was staring at the tail of the white bird, and was studying whether she had a rabbit tail or not, when the voice of the white bird hurriedly made him look away. In fact, he is really not that, he is really just pure curiosity. Hearing this, he smiled and said, "Well, this is the treatment given by the school." However, Bai Xiaoyuan was so envious that the pair's pupils turned even redder. Wow! This is too outrageous. A full 5,000 points. Private floating island, and things like windwalking armor. Talking and talking. She suddenly thought of Shuzian, the top scholar in the country, and his status as a godsend at the top level along the way, and she became increasingly unable to continue talking. All right, it's not that the school's treatment for Shuzian was too high. Shuzian's talent is really amazing. Don't give such high treatment. I'm really afraid of being snatched away. Moreover, Shuzian's talent is worthy enough. Classmate Shuzian, this is a three-dimensional view of our accommodation star. You can choose from these houses and floating islands. The red ones are already inhabited, and you can choose the green ones. Okay, you come and choose your residence. Bai Xiaoyuan is born in Dao soil. Accommodation star. There are hundreds of large and small floating islands. It looks like a lot, but it is all over the entire planet. There are hundreds of them, and it is particularly sparse, and it may be possible to see one from a long distance. If Shuzian chooses, he must choose floating island. First of all, the floating island is quiet enough. Shuzian is a person who likes to be quiet. I like to study quietly by myself, practice quietly by myself, and study the evolution of starships by myself. Floating island is his best choice. Choose and choose. Xu Ziyan finally chose a small and medium-sized floating island with a diameter of about 10,000 meters, or 10 kilometers. Too small will feel a little insufficient. In addition to the living area and the landing pad, Xu Ziyan also plans to build an evolution factory on it. What's more, when your own starship evolves to a higher level in the future, such as cruisers, battleships and the like, it can be several kilometers at every turn, and it must be large enough. 10 kilometers, almost just right. Xu Ziyan didn't like it too much. If it is too big, it will look empty. This floating island can be renamed at will. Needless to say, just change the name to Bright Island. Simple and straightforward. After entering the name, enter and select Xu Ziyan's personal information. Since then, this dazzling island belongs to Xu Ziyan's private island. It is even possible to activate the energy shield of the floating island, and no one can enter without Xu Ziyan's permission. You can even install things like defensive guns. Anyone who enters your territory will be shot. But in fact, this is allowed by the Federation, private territory, sacred and inviolable. You were shot, and you deserved it. Even many private residences and private islands in the school will turn on energy shields and defensive artillery arrays all year round. This is supported and even encouraged by the school. Because in this way, it can also prevent some villains, such as sneak attacks by human traders. Although the possibility of human traders daring to come to this accommodation star is almost zero. There are several deep space ships in the lodging star alone. Why are traders so bold? This is not how they seek death. The private floating island is selected. Then there are the rest of the rewards. Since Xu Ziyan successfully became a first-grade evolutionist of the Evolutionary Association, the addition of the two monster-level talents of the National College Entrance Examination Champion and first-rank Evolutionary Master, Shenzhou Academy can be said to have shown great sincerity. Originally 2,000 points, directly increased to 5,000 points. The floating island is used as a dormitory, and a teacher is randomly selected as his tutor, including the principal. You know, ordinary students don't have the right to choose a tutor. Only go to class when the teacher is in class. A mentor is a mentor. Teacher, it's a teacher. Of course, if that teacher takes a fancy to you and wants to be your mentor, then that's fine. Then choose 3 subjects for free without paying any points. A set of Cosmos Technology Group Popular Series Space Armor. And any 3 pieces of entry-level personal equipment. These conditions have not changed. But, gives Xu Ziyan 3 extra cruiser berms. What is the number of cruiser escorts? For example, Xu Ziyan now wants to go out and hunt pirates. But if your own strength is low, then you can use this kind of cruiser to protect the road a few times. Number of times the cruiser protects the road. You can choose any cruiser captain in the school, not limited to teachers and students, to protect the road for you. Redeem points. 3,000 points. Yes, this is the meaning of the number of cruiser escorts. Xu Ziyan uses it once, such as choosing Haidang to protect himself. Then Xu Ziyan can hunt the pirates alone. Can't beat it. Very simple. Call Haidang to help him fight. Cripple him and hit him with a last hit. To put it more simply, it is said to be the number of times of protecting the road. Rather, wholesale purchase evolution value, and a full 3,000 points is enough to make all the students sigh. Anyway, according to what Xu Ziyan learned from Haidang, since the establishment of Shenzhou University, no matter what level of protection times, the exchange students are pitifully few. No one would spend thousands of points to redeem the Dao Protector. You can imagine how precious the 3 cruiser patrols promised to Xu Ziyan by the school this time are. Of course, in order to prevent the team leader from pulling seedlings, the school will also curb this kind of behavior. No one can exchange more than 3 times, no matter what level. Xu Ziyan used up all 3 berths. It will be useless in the future. But, Xu Ziyan didn't care at all. Because of his starship, just evolved to a frigate. He was basically not worried about being killed. At least it won't be killed so easily. Scout ship. It is indeed too weak. After all, it is only the entry level among all levels of starships. It's impossible to count on how strong it can be. Xu Ziyan can handle 1 frigate, but what about 2? Wait until he evolves into a frigate. Then the result is different. So, the number of berms these 3 times. For him at this stage, it is undoubtedly the most important. In the future, he would not even give it to him. Because that will make him dependent, which will greatly affect his growth. This is absolutely unacceptable. Now, that was definitely needed, desperately needed. Student Xu Ziyan, let me take you to your bright spot first. Bai Xiaoniao said with a blushing pretty face. Those big eyes with red pupils are flickering, and a pair of pink and tender rabbit ears are always moving, it seems. It's so cute that my heart almost melts. All right. Xu Ziyan resisted the idea of grabbing Bai Xiaoyuan's 2 rabbit ears and playing with them in his hands, nodded, and walked outside together. And when he came to the landing pad, Xu Ziyan was suddenly very thankful for his calmness. The pink starship with a red-eyed white bunny sprayed on it, the 400-meter-long starship made Xu Ziyan sweat profusely on his forehead. Can only say, is it worthy of being the number 1 Shenzhou Academy in Star Wars? Even Bai Xiaoniao, who looks so timid and shy, her starship is an assault ship. This is really outrageous. After a moment of astonishment, I couldn't help asking, Sister Bai, can you tell me what grade you are in? Bai Xiaoyuan blinked her big eyes and replied crisply, I am in the first semester of the 3rd grade. There are a total of 10 years in Shenzhou Academy, 2 years and 1 semester, a total of 5 semesters, that is, 5 grades. The first semester of the 3rd grade. That is to say, Bai Xiaoyuan has been in Shenzhou Academy for 5 years. Xu Ziyan breathed a sigh of relief. Fine, not too outrageous. Otherwise, the pressure will be too great. 5 years. He is confident that he can evolve the brilliant to a higher level. Student Xu Ziyan, I suggest that if you stay in school for a long time, it is more convenient to buy a Star Queen. Bai Xiaoyuan said, but today we will drive the starship there. After all, your starship will stop there too. Okay, got it. Xu Ziyan nodded. Xingshou, I went to buy one later. I don't buy expensive ones, anyway, it's just for transportation, not for enjoyment. Of course, the main reason is that he is really poor now. At that moment, the two of them boarded the starship one after another and flew in the direction of Bright Island. Bright Island is located in the subtropical region of the accommodation star. Yes, lodging star has the most complete ecological environment. Tropical, temperate, Arctic, etc. The floating island with a diameter of 10 kilometers is definitely not small, and it is shocking to look at it quietly floating there. And directly below the resplendent island, there is a blue ocean. Are there all kinds of strange fish jumping up on the bottom of the sea, and from time to time, creatures like whales spray out fountains and splash rainbows. In the sky, there are flocks of birds, and the trees on the bright island are full of shade, and thousands of flowers are blooming, which can be called the fragrance of birds and flowers. There are even unknown little beasts bouncing around leisurely, watching them make people feel inexplicably peaceful. It is said that this bright island used to be the residence of a school teacher. But unfortunately, in a battle with the Inhumans, the teacher got all the enemy's sets, and was killed by the enemy's deep space ship and 5 battleships. The teacher was a battleship captain. It is said that before he died with an enemy battleship, which can be described as heroic. Therefore, there are also some buildings on this bright island. Judging from these buildings, the teacher should be a person who can enjoy life. A sci-fi style 2-story villa with a large area was built by the lake. Xu Ziyan fell in love with this lakeside villa immediately. Then there are also buildings that look like warehouses. Store some personal belongings, or personal captures from the battlefield. In addition, there is only a large parking pad, and that area is enough to park 2 or 3 deep space ships. Xu Ziyan will choose a place to build an evolution factory in the future. In the future, the brilliant will evolve a starship for others. Made it in our own factory. Bai Xiaoyuan took Xu Ziyan into the island, and the island's intelligent optical brain confirmed Xu Ziyan's identity, and at this moment was completely bound to him. After the intelligent optical brain is completely bound to Xu Ziyan, it will only listen to Xu Ziyan's orders. Even the school can't control the intelligent optical brain here, which protects the privacy and safety of teachers and students to the greatest extent. In today's era, the degree of personal privacy protection is extremely high, so don't worry about it. Because the teacher died, all his belongings were sent to his family members. Bai Xiaoyuan explained. There are only a few houses on this island, and there is also a self-contained energy shield. if you want to build your own buildings, or build defensive artillery arrays. But that's up to you to spend the points yourself. Xu Ziyan asked in surprise, you can't even spend money to build these things. Bai Xiaoyuan shook her head, and those two rabbit ears flicked along, looking so cute that she exploded. Impossible, everything needs to spend points. Things you personally buy don't count, though. But if you want to build a building within the scope of the academy, you must use points, not universe coins. Xu Ziyan nodded. It seems that the school is using the points to the extreme, thereby motivating students to have to earn points. And if you want to earn points, you can only do Ren Luo. If you are afraid that doing the task will be dangerous, you can only do everything possible to improve yourself. It is tantamount to forcing students not to behave badly. No wonder the students of Shenzhou Academy are the first in combat effectiveness. Under such a high-pressure situation, I am afraid that even a pig can improve a lot, right? Not to mention those who can enter the Shenzhou Academy, which one is not the pride of heaven. But you don't have to worry. You have exactly 5,000 points. Even more points than some lecturers. No, some teachers may not have as many points as you, because they also use a lot. Bai Xiaoyuan's big eyes were full of envy. It is enough to see that these 5,000 points are indeed not a small amount. It seems to be linked to money, but in fact, in Shenzhou Academy, 5,000 points are worth more than 50 million yuan. Because points are too hard to get. By the way, and this, for you. Bai Xiaoyuan handed over an optical brain watch with her small hand. This is a military-grade optical brain watch uniformly issued by the school. Not only is the security level very high, but the performance is also extremely outstanding. In addition, you can only enter some of the school's websites through this optical brain watch. The optical brain watch outside can't get in. In addition, don't worry, this watch has the functions of ordinary optical brain watches, and it's even richer. Xu Ziyan reached out to take it. It happened that his optical brain watch had been used for many years, and it was time to change it. Deng transferred the data from his optical brain watch and bound it to the school's optical brain watch. Sure enough, it comes with a lot of different website entrances and some functions. For example, the emergency SOS function. This function is exclusive to the students of Shenzhou University. Just use SOS. Then no matter where the teachers and students of Shenzhou Academy are, they can receive Xu Ziyan's distress signal immediately. Then they will rush to the rescue as soon as possible. And the synchronization will also be sent to the Federation and the nearest federal army for help. Those sites are easy. Mainly the course network, redeemed with points. Sites for redeeming items. Websites for posting and receiving tasks, etc. Anyway, everything needs points. But with points, you can do almost anything. Points are everything. Xu Ziyan finally realized at this moment the weight of these 5,000 points. No wonder even when Haidang mentioned the 5,000 points, she looked at her with envy. It's not that she still lacks these 5,000 points, it's that she never got so many points at once. Still just enrolled. What a crazy start. Bai Xiaoyuan then talked about some related matters. After basically explaining to Xu Ziyan, he also left immediately. Xu Ziyan did not hold back. He's more interested now. It is the transformation of your own private island, Bright Island. This island is completely your own. Although it is still far away from my dream to have a planet of my own. But now it is just getting started, and it has a private island. Can the private planet be far behind? Just right. Just take the Bright Island to practice. After buying a private planet in the future. At that time, when it is reformed, you will know where to start the best. First, let's take a closer look at the situation of this two-story villa with a large area. Take a closer look. Xu Ziyan was even more satisfied. The upper and lower floors are very spacious. The furniture, decoration, and furnishings are all in that simple style. There is no such old-fashioned thing as resplendent and magnificent. Moreover, the entire house has a self-cleaning function. Dust, water stains, oil stains, etc. are automatically cleaned away. The first floor is the living room, kitchen, dining room, bathroom, and utility room. On the second floor, there is only one bedroom. No, it should be said that the entire second floor, more than 500 square meters, are all bedrooms. Can you imagine a bedroom of more than 500 square meters? Outside the window is the oversized balcony. From here, you can have a panoramic view of the lakes and mountain peaks. When you have free time, you can also go fishing at the door. Even in this era, fishermen are still alive and well. I still use the most traditional hand pole or lure pole to fish. Are the anglers fishing for fish? No, what I'm fishing for is feelings and that poetic and freehand feeling. The entire second floor, the top is still composite glass. And it's one-sided, so you don't have to worry about privacy issues. Lying on the bed, you can see 3 planets very close to each other from the huge glass, as well as 2 suns, one far, one near, one red and one yellow, reflecting each other. There are even more stars and galaxies filling the sky. This beauty that belongs to the universe cannot be felt so clearly on Earth. Look around. Xu Ziyan was extremely satisfied. Basically, you don't need to buy anything, just bring your bags and move in. At most, the sheets, quilt covers and personal items are replaced, and that's it. But these can all be done later. Now, Xu Ziyan is more concerned about the construction of the evolution factory and the transformation of the entire brilliant island. Defense. It is a must. He felt deeply the madness of human traitors during the special recruitment exam. I don't want to do it again. Even if this is the accommodation star of Shenzhou University, who knows? But this transformation must come slowly. Because Xu Ziyan didn't want to spend too many points on these things in the early stage. It is necessary to keep the energy shield on at all times. For defensive artillery, you can take your time. Not urgent. Thinking of this, I immediately used my optical brain watch to activate the energy shield of the entire Pai Shuang Island. Immediately, a light blue round sphere surrounded the entire brilliant island. The level of this energy shield is not low, and it will have no problem blocking a burst of cruiser bombardment. Energy shield turned on. Xu Ziyan started browsing the website on the optical brain watch. The first must be the transformation of the evolution factory. The transformation of the evolutionary factory can be left to the students of the research department. The research department is not only engaged in research, but also includes engineering and construction. Click in. There are even complete design drawings of the evolutionary factory. There are big ones and small ones, with different appearances and functions. The prices are also different. Originally, Xu Ziyan planned to build a slightly larger evolution factory, but when he saw the price, forget it. Let's just build a small factory honestly. The small factory is actually not small anymore. It is enough for an assault ship to evolve in it, and it is currently enough for Xu Ziyan to use. The construction, including the supporting facilities inside, requires a total of 1900 points. This is definitely not a small number. But Xu Ziyan believes that the money is well spent. Because sooner or later he will earn it back from these classmates. What does he really think he is doing by building an evolution factory? It's one thing to evolve yourself. Isn't it mainly for the future Starship evolution of the students? Those points are coming in a hurry. This investment is worth it now. As for using the school, you have to rent it, and it is far less convenient than owning an evolution factory. After spending 1,900 points, Xu Ziyan started browsing resources and supplies websites. There are a lot of good things in here. But it just opened, suddenly. Xu Ziyan's eyes were fixed. Treasures of Heaven, Materials and Earth. This subpage instantly attracted his attention. Treasures from Heaven and Earth. Xu Ziyan has long wanted to try Tiansai Dabao. It's a pity that he is too poor. Now the treasures of heaven and earth are right in front of me, and I have a full 5,000 points. Not redeeming it is a bit unjustifiable. Without thinking, just click on it. Soon, there are rows of natural materials and earthly treasures, and different types of natural materials and earthly treasures. Xu Ziyan was dazzled and drooled. Let's take another look at the price. Buy. Treasures of Heaven and Earth. Mainly divided into 2 categories. One type is for human use. One category is for starships. The treasures used in starships are mainly precious and rare metals and some materials. However, these brilliant numbers are currently far from being used and will not be considered. It is a treasure of heaven and earth for human use. Mainly the kind that improves biological energy and tempers the strength of the physical body. Xu Ziyan also directly passes the one that increases bioenergy. Systematic wealth value conversion in. He doesn't need that at all. Okay. Wait a minute, I haven't looked at the school's points yet. Does the system recognize the increased wealth value? Shu Zian said that he always felt like he had forgotten something. Now suddenly remembered, open the system to check. Name, Shu Zian. Realm, 6th grade warrior. Starship, brilliant, red excellence. Bioenergy, 450. Evolution value, 190. Wealth value, 6,750. Seeing the 6,750 behind the wealth value, Shu Zian suddenly became happy. Admit, now that you admit it, there's no problem. And it's still a redemption method of 1 point, which is equivalent to 1 wealth value. Not bad, not a loss anyway. It's better than the system not recognizing it. And he has wealth value that can be directly converted into bioenergy, which is more awesome than any natural and earthly treasure. So, the only thing he needs to buy now is the kind of heavenly materials and earthly treasures that can temper and strengthen his physique. In fact, this has always been a shortcoming of Shu Zian. Because he doesn't have a lot of time to practice, his physique is not worse than others, but it is definitely not better than anyone else. The reason why he was able to achieve such high results in individual battles. It's nothing more than an instinctive way of killing that comes from fighting. The treasures of heaven and earth can be used to temper the body, which can make its internal organs, cells, bones, meat, etc. all undergo transformation. By then, the ability to withstand attacks and survive will be much stronger than now. Even when the wealth value is converted into bioenergy, if the physical fitness is stronger, more bioenergy can be converted at one time. Bye. Shu Zian was quite restrained. But even so, it also cost a full 700 points. I quickly stopped this extravagant spending and bought more. My 5,000 points were not enough. After exiting the Tiansai Dabao interface, Shu Zian also saw a gift package flashing. Click in and take a look, but you can buy a set of popular series space armor from Universe Technology Company for free, as well as 3 entry-level equipment sets. Popular series of space armor. Divided into light and ultralight. Qin Fuyu's model is lightweight. There is actually not much difference in appearance, except that the light ones are a bit thicker and heavier than the ultralight ones. The styles are the same. Shu Zian thought about it and finally decided to choose the ultralight one. Although the ultralight space armor has a slightly lower defense than the light one. But it won't be much different. Secondly, Shu Zian belongs to that kind of agile combatant. Almost all of them are deadly with their swords. They can kill the opponent with 1 blow but never with a second blow. There is no doubt about that. The most flexible ultralight space armor is the most suitable for you. Moreover, the ultralight space armor only has slightly lower defense power. Other functions are not bad at all. Anti-radiation, anti-corrosion, anti-toxic gas, anti-high pressure, etc. In addition, the oxygen self-sustaining system is equipped with ultra-concentrated compressed oxygen, which is enough to sustain breathing for half a month. Therefore, the price will not be cheaper than the light one at all, and the market price is also 5.9 million yuan. Purchase. Then there's the 3-piece starter set of personal equipment. Main weapon, secondary weapon, medical gun. This is a must-have 3-piece set for bio warriors. What is interesting is, the 3-piece set Shu Zian purchased before was never used once. But it's also normal. This is the theme song of Starship War, and the proportion of personal battles is really not high. But if there is something better, Shu Zian will naturally not refuse it. The main weapon is the knife. Unlike many students who choose something like a rifle, they then choose a knife as a secondary weapon. He's the other way around. The main weapon is a knife, and the secondary weapon is a gun. It's time to say it or not. Shenzhou University is quite impressive. The 3-piece set given away are all the best at this level currently on the market. No matter how high the level is, it is completely useless. For example, the main and secondary weapons are all products of the Interstellar Weapon Group. The Interstellar Weapon Group is one of the 12 top forces in the universe. The kind that is as famous as the Mechanical Empire. The Interstellar Weapons Group mainly produces various types of personal weapons, as well as base defense weapons. He will also dabble in the manufacture of weapons on starships. And it's not weak at all. The high-end weapons used on some starships even surpass those of the Mechanical Empire and the Universe Technology Group. After all, it is one of the 12 top forces in the universe, so it can't be any different. As for their company's personal weapons, they are definitely the second best, not the first. The Tomorrow God of War series is the highest-end version of their company's individual weapon series that can be used by mid to low-level warriors. A Lei Jin knife, a photon pistol. It's all God of Tomorrow series. After the main and secondary weapons, the medical gun is equally important. The medical gun is even worse. A product from the universe's number 1 pharmaceutical group. The first pharmaceutical group in the universe. That is one of the 7 overlord forces in the universe. As famous as Universe Technology Group. Its self-rescuer medical gun can be loaded with 3 medical tubes for treatment. And the treatment has an increase, and it can also automatically detect the injury and confirm the treatment amount. There are many types of medical tubes, such as anti-inflammatory, cleaning, healing, dredging, hematopoiesis, detoxification and so on. If you can only install 3 anti-inflammatory medical tubes, cleaning medical tubes, and healing medical tubes are definitely preferred. Shopping completed. There are only a few last things left to choose from. There is also one more thing to buy. Star Shuttle. Xu Ziyan made a decision on the 3 free courses offered by the school without even thinking about it. Because there are too many courses. For example, there are hundreds of courses in one Star Wars course. Can you believe it? Such as Star Wars evasion skills. For example, Star Wars prediction skills. For example, Star Wars anti-sneak attack techniques. Etc., etc. There are 3 free courses, all in the Star Wars field. Xu Ziyan is actually very curious. He really wants to see the Star Wars department of China University. Is it really as awesome as the legend says? And whether I can really learn enough useful knowledge from it. The courses have also been selected. All that remains is to purchase the Star Shuttle at the end. Buy Star Shuttle. It can be purchased directly from outside. The school will not ban this kind of thing. Of course, the school can also buy it, but Xu Ziyan is crazy to buy it with points. The Star Shuttle thing is not expensive. The so-called Star Shuttle. In fact, it is equivalent to a car in the 21st century. And they look very similar. It's just that the Star Shuttle can fly in the star system for a short time. The advantage of the Star Shuttle is that it is small, flexible and lightweight. For example, if you are going shopping, it will be very convenient to drive the Star Shuttle. To drive a Starship, you still have to go to the landing pad, and you have to walk over some places. Xingqiu is different, it is the size of a car, and it can go wherever you want. Open the online shopping platform on the optical brain watch. Start picking. Star Shuttle also has its good and bad aspects. And there are quite a few scenarios where it's used. There are many more Star Shuttles than starships and spaceships. After all, Xingqiu is the real travel tool for ordinary people. Xu Ziyan has no special requirements for Xingqiu, mainly for transportation. Choose and choose. An Audi Star Shuttle. Xu Ziyan looked quite satisfied. That's right, Audi. It's the Audi of the 21st century. The one with 4 circles. The development of the Earth has always been relatively smooth. Later, after entering the interstellar era, it merged with the cosmic human race very smoothly, and became one of them. Good money, good money. Even if there have been wars, territorial grabs and so on. But it was not a devastating blow. Therefore, many enterprises and groups from hundreds of thousands of years ago have survived. Audi is one of them. Today's Audi produces spaceships and shuttles. The price is cheap and affordable. But it is no longer the mid to high-end brand that was hundreds of thousands of years ago. In the age of the universe, because there are too many brands that are better than Audi, I don't know how many. Audi has now become one of the low-end brands. It is also sold in the Earth Federation, outside the Earth Federation. But no one buys Audi products. Xu Ziyan looked around and selected Audi's Star Shuttle. Mainly because it's cheap. And relative to this price, the performance is not bad. The price is 39,900. That's 40,000 yuan. It is equipped with an ultra-miniature nuclear fusion light-speed engine. It can fly at the speed of light for up to 3 hours. And 3 hours of light-speed flight. It is enough to reach any corner of a star system of the size of the Shenzhou star system. As for why it's so cheap, The cheapest spaceship is no more than 100,000 yuan. What, how much more expensive do you want? Of course, those high-end brand Star Shuttle are another matter. Say nothing more. Purchase. The things Xu Ziyan bought were delivered one by unmanned courier boxes. Most things are sent directly from the school's logistics star. A small amount of things came from that ordinary planet. As for which planet sent it, Xu Ziyan didn't have the time to pay attention to it. He also bought more than Audi Xingshou from online shopping platforms. There are also some personal items, and clothes and so on. A total of less than 50,000 yuan was spent. In fact, in this era, the cost of living is really low. The word famine, they have completely faded out of the minds of the cosmic humans. At the same time, the small evolution factory that Xu Ziyan ordered for 1900 points. The seniors and sisters of the research department also sent over the modules one by one. They drove the cargo spaceship to deliver the goods, and the spaceship was parked on the landing pad. Several seniors from the research department came down and looked at Xu Ziyan curiously. The envy in his eyes was undisguised. Student Xu Ziyan, you are indeed the #1 scholar in the country. You just entered school today, right? You actually lived on a floating island and built a private evolution factory. Tisk tisk, I'm so envious. A thin, nerdy-looking young senior said with envy until his eyes turned green. The rest of the seniors nodded frantically. The name Xu Ziyan. It can be said that there is no student in the entire Shenzhou Academy who has never heard of it. The national champion of the unprecedented 213 Ancients. A rank 1 evolutionist of the Evolutionists Association. This title, moving out of any of them is enough to move the name of Shenzhou Academy, okay. No, it should be said to be the famous Chinese star system. Xu Ziyan may not know. When the news that he confirmed joining the Shenzhou Academy came back, the ordinary people in the Shenzhou star system became more and more excited every day. Because of those national champions in the past. One counts as one. No one came to Shenzhou Academy. It's not because the Shenzhou Academy is bad or anything. Seriously, is Shenzhou Academy really bad? Ranked 10th in the top 10. That's only the 10th overall strength. In the interstellar era, isn't it about the strength of Star Wars? And Shenzhou Academy, Star Wars #1. So it's not that the Shenzhou Academy is poor, the reason why many people don't come. Without him, fear death, because of Shenzhou Academy. The death rate is also the well-deserved first of all schools. There are many people who bind twice and bind 3 times. Who dares to come? Wouldn't it be safe to evolve in the other top 10 with peace of mind? Therefore, for the arrival of Xu Ziyan, the most sensational and exciting must be the people of the Shenzhou star system. Xu Ziyan smiled and said, I built a private evolution factory, the main purpose is to evolve starships for my classmates. Of course, it's limited to the reconnaissance ship class, at least for now. Several people just smiled, although they recognized Xu Ziyan's talent. But let them take the starship to Xu Ziyan for evolution, that is something that 10,000 dare not. Who knows what it will evolve into? Seeing their expressions, Xu Ziyan also had a blank expression on his face. He believes that after all, someone will find himself to evolve. At that time, the evolution is successful, and the quality of the evolution is still so good. I am afraid that countless people took the initiative to find themselves to evolve. That time, I don't even have time for myself. Say no more. Several people began to assemble the evolution factory. Just over an hour, a small evolutionary factory rises from the ground. For convenience, Xu Ziyan built the factory next to the villa. Anyway, the appearance looks good, and it will not affect the overall appearance. After the payment of 1900 points, the seniors and sisters who earned a lot of points slipped away with smiles on their faces. These points, they earn at least 100 points each. For them who are still just reconnaissance ships, it's already a pretty impressive number. They leave. Xu Ziyan began to count and pack his things. Pack up and lay out all the personal supplies, clothes, and bed sheets you bought. Xu Ziyan first went to take a bath comfortably. Then I changed into a new set of clothes. Then wear this new set of popular series ultralight space armor on your body. When wearing space armor, you definitely don't need to wear it yourself. Especially this level of armor. In non-wearing state, it automatically stands in place. Then the mechanical metal behind it opens automatically. The man stood facing the back of the mecha. The mecha on the back closed automatically. Includes helmet. The helmet's glass visor retracts and releases automatically. This saves you the trouble of taking off your helmet. ACCB. Just put it on. Shuzian felt as if he was wearing something or not. That kind of lightweight type is really not comparable to the armor I wore before. Shuzian also feels that this set of armor, which sells for 5.9 million yuan, is really not expensive. Very satisfied. Then he picked up the Thunder Gold knife and the photon pistol. There is nothing interesting about these two things. Lei Jin Dao is a Tang Dao style. Shuzian likes this kind of slender knife, which is more flexible. This high-power photon pistol is quite powerful, but because it is a high-power model, its ammunition capacity is very small. A photon rechargeable battery can only be used after 10 rounds. Basically it is used as a last resort to save your life. Space armor is equipped with places to hang weapons. Put the Thunder Gold sword on your back, with the handle on your right shoulder, which is a convenient position for drawing the sword with your right hand. Pistol. It hung conveniently on the outside of the right thigh. At last, it's the final medical gun in the 3-piece set. The med gun is about the same size as a photon pistol. Using different medical tubes, the medical liquid in the medical tube will be broken down into particle rays by the medical gun. Finally, as soon as the light shines on the injured area, the light can automatically treat it. In the medical gun, all 3 drug tubes were installed. After a quick glance, they were all in full condition and there were no installation errors. Then hang it to the outside of the left thigh. Done. Since then, Shuzian's set, definitely among the best in its class. He is no longer the young man wearing tattered armor, pretending to be indifferent and stumbling around under the strange eyes of everyone. Shaking his head and smiling slightly. In the past, don't think about what he did. Everything. Look ahead. He lifted his optical watch and looked at the time. In 1 hour, it will be the time agreed upon with Master. Master said this when I first became a disciple. Waiting for when will he become a first-level evolution master, and when will he officially accept himself as his disciple? It's a pity that Master is too busy. It has been put on hold. Now I finally have time. It is said that it has broken through a key technology or something, but Shuzian doesn't understand it anyway. In short, today is the day when he officially becomes a disciple of Sha Dongliu. Starting today, Shuzian, he will also become Sha Dongliu's true disciple. Thinking about it, I am actually a little excited inside. Another hour. All right, just put on a new virtual metaverse neuron access device that I bought today. Just a thing the size of a fingernail. Go to the sofa again, put something against your temple, and close your eyes. Next second, when Shuzian opened his eyes again, already appeared in the virtual metaverse. Just came in. Master and apprentice of Song Yu and Chen Shanchuan, Shang'en, and 2 other branch presidents. They all sent congratulatory messages to Shuzian immediately. Mr. Shah accepted a disciple. How could they not know about such a big thing? Mr. Shah accepted a disciple. That is definitely a major event in the evolutionist circle, and it should not be taken lightly. Not only are they here today, and Shuzian's senior brothers and sisters, there are also a large number of famous evolution masters. Not even evolutionists, just big shots and strong men from all walks of life who were invited or came by themselves. Accepting a disciple today, it will be very lively. The virtual metaverse is extremely real. There is not even much difference from reality, it is equivalent to a second world. Except for pain and that. This is forbidden, but if it is not prohibited, then this is a real world. Where Shuzian is now, is a welfare cabin, inside. No way, the virtual metaverse is not a charity world, it asks for money. I want to live well, eat well, and play well here. Alright, you just need to pay. And in it, the real currency of the universe coin is used. Even the daily universe coin circulation in the virtual metaverse is not much less than that in the real world. It can be seen that the virtual metaverse is booming. Get out of the welfare hut. It is said to be a welfare hut, but it is actually a love cave. It's just a nice name. Shuzian doesn't care about these things in reality, let alone in the virtual world. Let him recharge to buy a house in the virtual world to enjoy. Only when he is very rich will he consider it. What a fool to do this now. With that money, wouldn't it be nice to buy some better fuel for the Starship, or better ammunition? In order to be close to reality. In the virtual world, each person is also equipped with an optical brain watch. He exhaled the optical brain watch, and clicked on Song Yu's message bar. What Song Yu sent was a positioning. Xu Ziyan directly clicks on this location. Moment. The person disappeared in place. Can't blink. When the eyes regained their vision, they had already arrived in a bright lobby. Haha, look, isn't this our champion Xu coming? Before Xu Ziyan could see his surroundings clearly, Song Yu's hearty laughter rang in his ears. Immediately afterwards, an arm wrapped around Xu Ziyan's shoulder, very intimate. Between men and men, they will not be bounced away. You don't even need to turn your head to know who is speaking. Sure enough, Song Yu hugged Xu Ziyan's shoulder very affectionately, as if he had known an old friend for many years. I saw him give a thumbs up, his face full of admiration. To be honest, little brother, I, Song Yu, have never admired a few people in my life. Mr. Shaw is one, senior brother Zhang is one, senior sister Qi is one, senior brother Wu is one, and junior sister Lu is one. Now there is one more you. I never imagined that when you have such outstanding talent as an evolutionist, Star Wars, personal wars, and culture are all so shocking. Tisk tisk, the full score is 3,600 points, you deserve to get 360B. It really deserves to be hailed by the media as an unprecedented national champion. It's amazing, it's really amazing. It doesn't matter whether this Song Yu sincerely admires and praises him or not. At least Xu Ziyan couldn't see any hypocrisy from his face. That look, that tone of voice, that expression. Be as sincere as you can be. Teeks, not to mention Xu Ziyan, but also all the core disciples of Mr. Shaw's line. Xu Ziyan didn't know who those senior brothers and sisters Song Yu was talking about. But without thinking about it, I knew that there was a high probability that it was the other disciples of Mr. Shaw. That is Xu Ziyan's brothers and sisters. Really? A helpless voice came from the side. Xiao Yu, you are enough. You can praise the little junior brother, why did you bring us along? The voice is a very steady male voice. Turn around and look. There are many people standing behind him. These people are old and young, young and middle-aged. At this time, everyone's eyes were all focused on Xu Ziyan. There is curiosity and exploration in the eyes. And the one who spoke just now was a rich middle-aged man. Very handsome, a handsome middle-aged guy. His eyes were piercing and he had a gentle smile on his face. See Xu Ziyan's view. He immediately smiled and introduced himself. Little brother, I am Zhang Yuanhai, your senior brother. Xu Ziyan hurriedly saluted and shouted, hello, big brother. Zhang Yuanhai smiled gently, took the initiative to step forward to help Xu Ziyan up, and said with a smile, this kind of thing is not popular among us brothers and sisters. Come on, let me introduce you to your other brothers and sisters. Zhang Yuanhai affectionately pulled Xu Ziyan to the other two women and a man. They also looked at Xu Ziyan, and they were very kind and friendly. No introduction from Zhang Yuanhai is needed. The tall woman was at least 1.8 meters tall, but one side of her bangs was very long, covering half of her face. She spoke first. I'm your second senior sister, Qi Jingyi. The tall slender woman's voice was very dignified. And although she covered half of her cheeks, the other half of her cheeks was already bright enough. Coupled with her extremely tall figure, her temperament is very outstanding. Xu Ziyan bowed again and called, second senior sister. Then came a relatively thin young man. He smiled at Xu Ziyan, Wula, your third senior brother. Third senior brother. At last it was a girl. She seems to be about the same age as Xu Ziyan. The appearance is also very beautiful. But Xu Ziyan knows. Master seems to have confiscated disciples for a full 3,000 years. That is to say, this girl who looks as old as herself. In fact, it is more than 3,000 years old. The girl was very quiet, and said softly, I am your fourth senior sister, Lu Yuyu. Xu Ziyan hurriedly called out, fourth senior sister. Big brother Zhang Yuanhai smiled and said, okay, now that the introduction is over, we will have a lot of time to get acquainted later. Master is over there, little brother, go and say hello to Master first. Senior brother Zhang Yuanhai pointed in a certain direction. Really, Master Sha Dongliu is looking at Xu Ziyan with a kind smile on his face. Congratulations and pride flashed in his eyes. I am gratified that these disciples have a harmonious relationship when they first met. I am proud that this disciple I recruited after a full 3,000 years not only did not disappoint him, but also made him look great. Those old friends, when they learned that they had accepted such an extremely talented disciple, they were all envious. The evolutionist will not talk about it all the way. A first-rank evolutionary master who is less than 18 years old is definitely a first-class talent in the entire universe. What Sha Dongliu didn't expect the most was that his disciple was such a monster in Star Wars. Special recruitment exam, take the lead. Later, an accident happened, but with the help of another assault ship, Timo killed the enemy. Even if the Starship crashes, he is still not discouraged. After only 1.5 months, I stood up again. This time, with amazing talent and peerless talent, he suppressed all the proud sons of the Emperor. Such a disciple. How not to make him proud? Such a heart. Such savvy. Such talent. He really felt that he was able to meet Xu Ziyan by chance that time. It was really a fate bestowed by heaven. Here, Xu Ziyan quickly walked towards the master. Before the person arrived, he respectfully shouted with disciple courtesy, "Disciple Xu Ziyan, I have met master." Sha Dongliu immediately laughed, stepped forward affectionately, and patted Xu Ziyan on the shoulder. His eyes were full of satisfaction. There is no need to be too polite. Ziyan, you really gave my master a big surprise. I thought it would take you 3 years to pass the assessment. I never thought I would pass the assessment in just a few months. It's actually very good. After being praised by his master, Xu Ziyan laughed and said, "Actually, it's mainly because I like this job better. Actually, my talent is not as good as what you said, master. Since the first product, I have been studying the evolution of frigates and the improvement of the perfect quality of pink. It's a pity that it has been several months, and now I can only upgrade some unimportant small parts to the perfect pink quality. Slightly larger parts, the disciples can't do it, and they fail every time. As for the evolution of the frigate, the disciple has no clue at the moment. Master, you seem to be free now, and I still have a lot of questions to ask." As Xu Ziyan spoke, he realized that something was wrong with the atmosphere. But he saw the master, and the old men with white hair and childlike faces behind him, slowly opened their mouths wide, and looked at him with astonished expressions. But Xu Ziyan was a little confused. "Did you say something wrong? It is true that only some small and unimportant parts can be evolved to pink perfect quality, and the success rate is quite low." This made Xu Ziyan quite depressed during this time. Because it was not long before the system was bound, it was the first evolution simulation. One's own level has reached the first grade, and it is a first grade that can evolve the excellent quality of red. I have tried so many times now, but I still cannot successfully evolve the frigate, and even the evolution of parts has a high probability of failure. This made him feel that he might not really be a genius. So this is just a good time to ask the master to see if he has time in the future. Explain to him or something. Maybe you will be able to understand it. Only, what's wrong with them? Xu Ziyan was at a loss. Chapter 91. In fact, this is also the reason why Xu Ziyan doesn't know much about evolutionists. The evolutionists I know are the master, Song Yu's master and apprentice, and Shang'en. The real contact has only been in the past 6 months. He didn't know the progress and difficulties of the evolutionist group. Don't even know. He himself is purely against the sky. Still a little depressed. It was so smooth when I evolved the reconnaissance ship by myself, and it was so easy to improve the red excellent quality. How come the evolution of the frigate and the improvement of the perfect quality of pink are so difficult? I once doubted my own talent. Looking at Xu Ziyan's slightly frustrated expression, Elder Sha and the other elders exchanged glances. They all fell silent, but judging from the degree of twitching at the corners of their mouths, my heart is not silent at all. The key is, with their mature eyes, one can tell at a glance that Xu Ziyan is sincerely talking about this matter. Not showing off. This is the most outrageous thing. One of the serious-looking old men turned his head and asked with a strange expression, "Now can you improve the quality of parts to pink perfection?" Although I don't know who the old man in front of me is. But if I want to be able to stand with the master, I am afraid that it is a certain evolutionary, 463, master, or a super strong person. Hastily nodded respectfully and replied, yes. But the quality of slightly larger and more precise parts cannot be improved to pink perfection. And those parts that can be upgraded to pink perfect quality, the probability of each upgrade is no more than 50%, and they often fail. Shu Zian was helpless. Little did they know that the eyes of Mr. Shaw and the other elders had changed. One of the old men, who looked like a smiling Buddha, waved his hand and said, "It's useless to talk. Come on, let's go and try it now." Although the evolution simulation of this virtual metaverse is still a bit different from reality. But it can also simulate a 78%. You cover it up for us on the spot, and see how the parts you mentioned are upgraded to the perfect quality of pink. But I only give you 3 chances. Shu Zian thought it was these old men who wanted to guide him on the spot. Hearing this, he immediately nodded in surprise. Okay. But we're going to, he said and looked at the master. Sha Dongliu said without hesitation, listen to him. Let's go, there is an evolution simulation factory next to it, just go there. Sha Dongliu also wanted to see it very much. My new apprentice. Talent, how terrifying is it? As for bragging, not only him, none of the old men around him thought so. No matter how stupid you are, you won't brag about your life in front of them. Because whether it's bragging or not, we'll find out later. It was not just his face that was lost, but also the face of his master, Sha Dongliu. In the hall itself, Sha Dongliu, Shu Zian and the others were the center of attention. Seeing them walking towards the side one after another, everyone couldn't help but feel confused. Senior brother Zhang Yuanhai couldn't help but ask, "Master, what are you?" The old man with a Buddha-like smile immediately pointed at Shu Zian and said with a smile, "Yuanhai. We old guys want to see your junior brother's level on the spot. How about it? Come over and have a look together." Upon hearing this, everyone present immediately became excited. Among the people present, only the 2 vice presidents Chen Shanchuan, Shang'en, and Sun System had seen Shu Zian's awesomeness. The rest of the people had never seen it with their own eyes, but only heard about how outstanding Shu An's talent was. Now that Shu Zian was going to give a live demonstration, naturally everyone became interested and followed him one after another. Shu Zian didn't care either. There are many people but few people, and it has no effect on him at all. He is very happy now. Because of the evolution of perfect quality, he has been troubled for a long time. Now it seems that not only can I get the master's teachings and receive the goods, but these master's inventions. As long as you ask yourself, are they embarrassed not to give you guidance? Shu Zian chuckled in his heart. Next to the lobby. It is a huge evolution factory. The advantage of the virtual metaverse is that everything is virtual. So, here, evolve whatever you want to evolve. You go ahead and don't worry about us. Master Sha Dongliu touched Shu Zian's head lovingly. Don't be pressured, just perform to your best. Shu Zian was puzzled. Pressure? Why is this so stressful? Ask a question. Why are you still stressed? Too lazy to think too much, he nodded heavily and walked over. There were dozens or hundreds of people around, watching intently. Come to the virtual panel of the evolution factory. Shu Zian chose a component that he had evolved before, but had the highest success rate of only half. A balance. As mentioned before, the function of the balancer is to confirm the ecliptic plane of the universe and allow the Starship to maintain a plane flight. This kind of thing, to be honest, does not have much technical content. But even so, Shu Zian's success rate in evolving it to pink perfection is still only about 50%. You can imagine how frustrated he is. Don't think too much. A balancer was selected, and the balancer selected was a green and high-quality balancer. Shu Zian thought about it. Since you want to ask for advice, you have to start from the beginning. Only by starting from the beginning can master and the others see clearly. And this balancer is the same model as the one on my brilliant one. So I want the masters and others to see from the beginning how they have evolved from green excellence to red excellence. Then, with an almost 100% success rate, why does the failure rate of evolving pink perfect quality be so high? Selected. Quality improvement started immediately. It's here. Any material needed can appear in an instant. Here, evolution does not need evolution value, of course. Shu Zian is already familiar with the evolution of red excellence and previous quality. No need to think too much at all. Pieces of different metals and materials began to be put into the balancer, allowing them to be absorbed and fused. The weight and weight are different. The order of fusion absorption also varies. Beside, everyone who saw Shu Zian's coherent operation nodded. Those present, except for those super strong people who are not evolutionists. The rest are evolutionists. The worst are all three qualities. Shu Zian's level can be seen at a glance. This is how it works and how proficient it is. There are also ideas of evolution. All kinds of whimsical ways of evolution. It is worthy of the title of bright monster. Evolution 0. It's never set in stone. Even with the same evolution focus, there are as many as hundreds of thousands of materials. For example, to improve the quality of a main gun is mainly to improve its penetration history. Then there are often hundreds of thousands of materials that can be selected. The universe is so big, there are too many materials, too many different metals. Natural, synthetic, compound. Too much can be used for evolution. There is a clear statement in the circle of evolutionists. Everything can evolve. What I said is not that everything can be evolved, but that everything can be used for evolution. Different substances, different attributes, evolved things are different. An evolutionist really needs profound knowledge and super talent. Otherwise, if you can't remember the metal material alone, how can you be an evolutionist? Evolved step by step. Half an hour later, the balance meter has steadily entered the blue rare quality. Another half hour, steadily promoted to red excellent quality. It's just under an hour. So steady, everyone was full of amazement. But when most people thought Shu Zian was going to end, then I saw that besides he was still choosing materials and metals. At this moment, these people all stared wide-eyed, and a trace of inconceivable color flashed in their eyes. Shu Zian, is this going to continue? No, Shu Zian can evolve pink perfect quality now. Shocked, even if it is as calm as the big brother Zhang Yuanhai. There are also 3 other brothers and sisters from Shu Zian. And Chen Shanchuan, Shang'en, who knew how talented Shu Zian was. At this moment, he couldn't help but look shocked. At their level, they deeply understand what the perfect quality of pink represents. A rank 1 evolutionist. If it is possible to evolve pink parts with perfect quality, what else can it represent? No, it shouldn't be so outrageous. Even if there are 1,000 and 10,000 and in my heart, I don't believe it. But when Shu Zian integrated the materials one by one, the balancer removes the impurities after the first step, and when the quality steadily increases. They were stunned, dumbfounded faces. Even if it's Mr. Shaw and those old men. At this moment, he watched in astonishment. I thought Shu Zian would fail once or twice. But now it seems, will it succeed once? Moreover, is it still evolving steadily from fine quality to pink perfect quality? Halfway, nothing went wrong. About 50 minutes later, when a pink light flashed on the balance instrument, its specific quality and data are directly displayed virtually on the balancer. The audience was so quiet that a needle could be heard. They all stared blankly at the balance meter data displayed in the virtual metaverse, speechless for a long time. Chang succeeded. Next moment, those old men beside Mr. Shaw. One by one, the eyes suddenly burst into dazzling light. It was like searchlights shining on Shu Zian. That look. Like an idiot seeing a stunning beauty. Such as a foodie seeing a full feast of man and han. That's a glutton. The serious old man coughed lightly and said to Sha Dongliu, well, Lao Sha, let's discuss something. When Mr. Shaw heard this, he shook his head as if he had taken medicine. No discussion, don't even think about it. The serious old man touched his nose awkwardly. Then what? Look at you, among your disciples, which one is not a member of the evolutionary master lineage? You should be content. Then if you look at me again, I'm so old, right? Just treat me as pitiful, okay? The serious old man hasn't finished speaking yet. Mr. Shaw started to complain directly. Old Chang, you can go aside and have a rest. Don't even think about this. How can any of the disciples I accept be given to you? Impossible, absolutely impossible. The serious old man was helpless. He could only stare at Shu Zian and swallow his saliva. Another tall old man also coughed lightly and said, Lao Sha. Mr. Shaw glanced at him. What's the matter, are you thinking about this good thing? I'm telling you, stop dreaming. The tall old man quickly apologized and smiled. No, I definitely can't steal your apprentice, this is definitely not fair. After a pause, he said in a leisurely tone, but, you don't think you mind him having another master, do you? If that doesn't work, I can be his mentor. You are his master and I am his mentor. Mr. Shaw was so angry that his beard stood up. Do you think I'm stupid? Isn't a mentor the master, and isn't the master the mentor? Go, let me tell you, don't think about this thing. After saying that, he stopped listening to them. He smiled at Shu Zian and said, Zian. Not bad, very good. I didn't expect that you, so young, would be able to evolve your quality to pink perfection. This is really beyond my expectation. Didn't you say before that you didn't understand something? Come, ask, I'll talk to you. Shu Zian nodded quickly and asked all the problems he encountered during the evolution process. At first, Mr. Shaw could still answer Shu Zian's questions casually. But later, Mr. Shaw had to think about some of Shu Zian's questions before he could give an answer. Even down to the last few questions. Elder Shaw and the other elders all need to discuss a few times. Disagreement will also lead to some disputes, and finally give Shu Zian some answers. You can see the people around you looking at each other. Most of the people present were from the circle of evolutionists. And a very high-level evolver. But for some of Shu Zian's problems, they will all get some inspiration from it. For example, Chen Shanchuan, Shang'en, the two vice presidents. Good guy. I immediately started recording with my eyes gleaming. Recorded the questions Shu Zian asked and Mr. Shaw's answers. For a moment, it was like finding a treasure. This kind of opportunity to be answered by Mr. Shaw and these old men at the same time is definitely not many. And Shu Zian obviously understands this. Although he is an old disciple of Shaw. But Mr. Shaw is too busy. Take advantage of this opportunity now. He almost threw out all the problems he encountered. To know, what problems did Shu Zian encounter? Those are all questions that have been carefully pointed out by the system, and then they have not fully understood the meaning. That is a problem that has not been fully understood after the system has been taught. Can this kind of problem be solved easily? This is not. When Shu Zian asked the last question about the perfect quality of the evolution frigate Dao, Mr. Shaw was stunned. I frowned and thought for a long time but didn't come up with it. I discussed it with several old men for a long time, and the arguments turned red. As a result, several old men's faces turned red. Elder Shaw even coughed lightly, and said, This question, I will give you an answer after I go back and study carefully. Everyone present was stunned. This is Mr. Shaw. The evolution of frigates and the improvement of perfect quality have all been stumped. No, it's not that I'm stumped. As an evolutionist, the knowledge contained in it is as vast as this universe. Who dares to say that every level of Starship evolution is completely understood? Shu Zian now goes to evolve the reconnaissance ship, as well as the red superior quality reconnaissance ship. He had it at his fingertips. But, he never dared to say that he was so angry at the evolution of the scout ship. He is still far away. In other words, in this world, no matter how powerful an evolutionist is, there is no guarantee that he will understand all the problems encountered when the scout ship evolves. There are hundreds of thousands or even millions of materials that can be used for just one component. The combination and matching are even more like geometric figures. Who can understand it? Cannot. Shu Zian cannot. Mr. Shaw couldn't. No one can. Therefore, what Shu Zian raised was a problem encountered in the evolution of frigates. It's normal for Mr. Shaw to be unable to give an accurate answer for a while. It only takes a little research and you can make it. This is the real difference between low-level evolutionists and high-level evolutionists. Low-level evolutionists just can't understand it. A high-level evolutionist can't figure it out for the moment, but Dao can figure it out after some research. Shu Zian was not surprised either. It's just that he smacked his tongue a little bit. Many problems that have troubled him for many days. In Sha Lao's answer, basically everything has been solved. Seriously, the systematic teaching is very powerful, and a complete set of explanations can be given for any problem. However, the system is only for teaching. Just pointing out what is wrong with you, because of what is wrong, and then telling you what is the best way to evolve. But it won't tell you what materials should be used to evolve. For example, there are too many kinds of the same high toughness metal material. The system will only tell you that this part requires a high toughness metal material. But the high ductility metal material properties are all different. If the toughness is too low, it will not work. If the toughness is too high, it will not work. The toughness fits, but it still doesn't work if it conflicts with other metal materials. The toughness fits, but the rigidity is not enough, still not good. Anyway, today's teaching made Shuzian realize a lot. Mr. Shaw's teaching is to directly point out the problem, and then directly point out what metal material to use and why to use this metal material. This is the difference between Mr. Shaw and the system. Master Shaw's teachings and systematic teaching. Shuzian believes that both are indispensable. After asking all the questions that bothered him, Chen Zian was still a little unsatisfied. But today I came to pay homage to the teacher. We must not continue to waste everyone's time. If you don't understand something, just ask the master later. Master is busy, so leave a message, the same is true. Subsequent apprenticeships went smoothly. Shuzian also knew who these old men were. Several of them are actually Master's senior brothers. That is, my uncle. The others, Master did not say their identities. But I think it should be some big bosses. On the contrary, Shuzian is very curious about his master's master, that is, his own ancestor. Master is so powerful, then his master ancestor is obviously a big shot. But Mr. Shaw said that he hadn't seen his master for more than 800 years. Either doing research, or wandering the universe. Every day, the dragon sees the head but does not see the end. Shuzian didn't ask too much. Anyway, he thought, what the master should tell me, I will tell myself. If you didn't tell yourself, it means that you are not qualified to know now. He doesn't care either. The current self, knowing so much, is really useless. Only the captain of the reconnaissance ship, and only the first-rank evolutionist. What's the use of knowing so much? Thanks to the division, the final promotion is over. Shuzian, in a real sense, became the fifth personal disciple of Mr. Shaw. Even if nothing unexpected, it will also be a closed disciple. There will be no more disciples in the future. We are all busy people. I have gathered here for more than 10 hours, and I need to get busy. Before leaving, Shuzian joined many people's communications, including those uncles. The rest of the bosses were not added. The main additions are those of the same generation or the younger generation. But even the younger ones. Also people like Chen Shanchuan and Shang'an. One of his peers, that is, his senior uncle, the apprentice of that tall old man, is also his senior brother. The principal of Dawn Starship Academy. Yes. He is actually the principal of Qin Fuyu School. It's my brother now. Shuzian felt dizzy in his head. Master. Only then did I know the people in Master's circle. What kind of bosses are they? Their communication methods have been added. Of course, the friends of my own brothers and sisters will not fail to join. Their attitude towards themselves is undoubtedly a little closer. It's just that everyone is really too busy. Make an appointment to send messages and chat when you have time, and find them after you have any difficulties. They all dispersed when Shuzian exited the virtual universe and his consciousness returned to reality. There is also a sense of unreality. The people in Master's circle are all too awesome. He seemed weak and helpless. Good thing. Just started myself. He made a fist. You can't hold back Master and the others. There are still a few days until the official start of school. Then take advantage of these few days. To do the task, maybe you can kill a few pirates. Then get together to evolve the Starship to the 7th level. That is, the evolution value of advanced reconnaissance ships. Only a few days left. Shuzian will definitely not use the number of cruiser berms. The number of berms can last for a month at a time. It's stupid to use it at this time. But it's definitely not enough to go out alone. But that's okay. A short escort mission is acceptable. Because the Shenzhou star system is extremely prosperous. It belongs to the super prosperous galaxy. Many large enterprises and large groups have set up branches here. The population is also very large, so the business is extremely prosperous. The bustling business has spawned caravans that come from different places every day. With so many caravans, a large number of interstellar pirates have naturally been born. In fact, the reason why interstellar pirates are endlessly killed and destroyed. The main reason is that the scope of the universe is too vast, making it extremely easy to escape and hide. There is no such thing as a blanket or blanket campaign. Encircle and suppress pirates. The probability of pirates escaping is as high as 95%. Coupled with the explosion of population expansion, even a small number of unscrupulous people choose to become interstellar pirates. That's a pretty scary number too. And needless to say, interstellar pirates is a really easy job. A normal biological captain wants to get rich and increase his strength quickly. Either suppress bandits, or go to the battlefield. Restricted by the law, you must not do anything to people casually. Star Pirates is different. They hit whoever they want. Run after finishing one vote. Wait for the consumption to continue to the next vote. It is absolutely impossible for the cosmic interstellar era to wipe out a large number of or even completely wipe out interstellar pirates. Coupled with the prosperity of the Chinese star system, countless caravans come from all directions of the ecliptic plane, front, back, left, right, up and down, etc. every day. The missions that lead to hunting pirates and escorting them are also surprisingly numerous. What Xu Zian is going to take is the short-distance escort mission. The kind that is no more than 20 light-years away. Now the brand new Brilliance has reached the limit of 79.9 meters. Without refueling, the farthest limit distance has reached 60 light-years. 20 light-years away, there was enough time, and it did not exceed the sailing limit of the Brilliant, just right. That night, lying in the bedroom on the second floor of hundreds of square meters, enjoying the halo slowly shining from the 3 planets outside the composite one-way glass ceiling. Browse the school assignments. Lodging stars, no satellites. Those 3 planets are also 3 other planets. All were developed into habitable planets. And they are all extremely prosperous. Because the distance is not very far. You can even vaguely see the lights of thousands of families on the 3 planets. The colorful neon lights are full of prosperity. This is a scene that can never be seen on Earth. The school's tasks are open and accessible throughout the year. After just browsing for a while, Xu Zian directly cancelled his plan to accept the task from school. Although accepting tasks from school, you will get points rewards. But there are also limitations. For example, students at the reconnaissance ship level must form a team, or join a team, and receive tasks as a team. This is also because the school ran out alone to die in order to prevent the students from getting overwhelmed, for the sake of evolution and points. But when it comes to the assault ship level, there is no such restriction. There are also many teams of classmates. But Xu Zian was reluctant to join in. To join a team, one must obey the instructions and orders of the captain. The enemy's biological starships are limited. Xu Zian doesn't think that these strange students will kindly give up the biological starships to him to kill. And for those little points, it's a waste of time. Talk about it. At present, it is more appropriate to continue to receive tasks from the Star Hunters Guild. Immediately shut down the school's mission website. Open the Star Hunter Guild website. Glanced. Sure enough, there are quite a lot of tasks. Filter directly. Enter several keywords such as 20 light-year short distance, escort, and reconnaissance ship. Soon there were a large number of escort missions. There are caravan escorts. There are also escorts. Reward. Xu Zian ignores it directly. After choosing and choosing, Chen Zian locked on the task of escorting a caravan of a Star Crystal Optical Brain Production Company. Choosing the escort mission of this caravan is also elegant. The Star Crystal Optical Brain of this company is very small in the universe, and it belongs to the very low-end kind, but it also has certain value. But it is far from reaching the caravans of mining companies, material companies, and parts companies. So these Star Crystal Light Brains will attract the kind of small interstellar pirates, large and powerful interstellar pirates, but they don't like these things. Not to mention attacking such a caravan, it would also pose a risk of exposure. In this way, it is possible to encounter the enemy again, and the probability will not be too dangerous. Just right. Of course there are exceptions. For example, the whole process is safe and will not encounter pirates. There are many such cases, and there are many interstellar pirates, but the caravans that are attacked each year actually only account for 10% of all caravans. Or even less. If all caravans will be attacked, then these interstellar pirates may all be brought down by the Federation. How is it possible? If there is another accident, that big pirate group will attack at will. The probability is very small. Once you encounter it, just run away. The task is selected. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, we will gather from the cargo star port of Yaochi Star on time. The escort is for 3 days. Sent to the Tainan star system. 1,600 yuan a day. Time is absolutely fine. Sleep with eyes closed. I don't know if it's because of moving to a new house, or because the living environment here is too good. When I wake up, I feel refreshed, as if I have endless energy. Put on the popular space armor and equip the 3-piece suit. Go now. Yaochi Star is the third most prosperous planet in the Chinese star system. Drive the Brilliant to the cargo port. It can be seen that giant cargo spaceships with a length of several kilometers and tens of thousands of meters are constantly entering and leaving. The cargo spaceship must be big. Not only does it require a very long voyage distance, but it also requires a very large cargo capacity. The price of a huge cargo spaceship tens of thousands of meters is even as high as tens of billions. Even bigger ones, hundreds of billions of them are not unavailable. With such a high-value spaceship, it will be a long time to feel distressed if one is killed by pirates. So even these cargo spacecraft have their own dedicated escort team. However, a large number of external Starship escorts will still be hired. What Xu Zian is escorting today is the product of Intel Group. The Star Crystal optical computer produced by Intel. Intel Corporation is also a company that has existed for hundreds of thousands of years. In the 21st century, it seems that the company that produced computer chips was the world's top chip production group at that time. But in the interstellar era, turned into the lowest-end Star Crystal optical brain group. Come to port. The two 10,000-meter cargo spacecraft painted with the Intel Group logo have been launched and are waiting to depart. Around it, there are more than a dozen starships suspended to protect it. The most powerful of these is an assault ship. The rest are reconnaissance ships and frigates. Of these starships, a small number are biological starships, and most of them are mechanical starships. All sprayed with Intel Group's logo. Obviously it is Intel Group's own frigate. Besides, there are more than a dozen starships of various kinds beside them. Most of them are frigates, and some are reconnaissance ships. But all are biological starships. Very few mechanical starships come out to do missions, almost none. Mechanical starship captains usually join the Federal Army, or join a certain group company to serve as the escort fleet or something. Although the arrival of the Brilliant has attracted some people's attention, that's all. Identity information confirmed. Waited for a while. After collecting a total of 18 external starships, the caravan officially set sail. At the same time, the caravan also sent the sailing route to the star map of each warship. Just follow this route. Good money. Xu Zian did not speak the whole time. On the contrary, the name of his starship, Mi County, caught the attention of several people. But they just repeated it in surprise, and no one asked. In the universe, there are not too many starships with the same name. They didn't think that the Brilliant ship was the famous national #1 scholar. Besides, under preconceived notions, how precious is the #1 scholar in the country? How can you come to do this kind of task with them that only costs more than 1,000 yuan a day? Stop it. And Xu Zian is also happy to relax. He just took advantage of this time to digest the content of the master's teaching. Try to evolve a frigate of perfect quality in one fell swoop when the candy reaches the evolution frigate. As for this escort, anyway, it's based on luck. It would be nice to encounter a small interstellar pirate attack. It's not a loss if you don't meet it. But Xu Zian felt that his luck should not be so bad. It is best to meet. Thus, the official opening day. The Brilliant will also truly enter the ranks of high-level reconnaissance ships. In freshmen, not to mention that the starship rank is absolutely #1. But definitely the first series. The Tainan star system is located directly below the Shenzhou star system. The entire caravan flew downwards. But in the universe, there is no up, down, left or right at all. When the Starship has its own gravity, either side is the front. The caravan has been flying for 2 full days. It is a full 16 light-years away from the Chinese star system. Because the cargo spacecraft travels slowly, its flight speed and pulse jump distance are definitely not comparable to those of starships specially used for combat. And every time the pulse jumps a certain distance, it needs to cool down for about an hour. Xu Ziyan looked at the study materials in the optical computer watch with some boredom. These study materials were given to him after he chose the 3 Star Wars courses. It wasn't until he read these materials that Xu Ziyan realized that there were actually many more things he had to learn. Let's put it that way. If he learned the combat skills by himself from the life and death fight in the Star Wars simulation, it can be compared to a warrior who is born with divine power. So what is taught in school? It just tells you how to make perfect use of your natural divine power. Use 4 ounces to move 1,000 pounds to obtain more powerful combat skills. Xu Ziyan is very lucky. Even though he obtained the system, he resolutely chose to join the college to continue his studies. It's not because after acquiring the system, he became arrogant and thought that he would be invincible with the system. Now I know that his previous idea was completely wrong. Yes, a life and death fight in Star Wars simulation, coupled with systematic combat teaching. It is indeed quite powerful, there is no denying this. But, similarly, the combat experience accumulated by the cosmic humans over countless years is not inferior to systematic teaching. Just like the evolutionist, systematic teaching and Sha Lao's teaching are advancing simultaneously, and Xu Ziyan will only grow faster. There will be no obvious shortcomings. The same way, Star Wars simulation and system teaching, coupled with the teaching of China University, which ranks first in Star Wars strength. Xu Ziyan's Star Wars abilities. It will only become more and more exquisite and powerful. The two complement each other. Continue to devote yourself to learning with gusto and try your best to absorb all useful knowledge. The brilliance flies on its own according to the route. For 2 full days, the entire fleet was very silent. Not even a single word of communication came through the communicator. Everyone seemed very quiet and silent. In fact, this is the real interstellar voyage, and boring are the themes. Fortunately, Xu Ziyan has always been a person who can endure loneliness. Watch and watch. Xu Ziyan couldn't help but sigh again. One day we will arrive in the Tainan star system. It seems that my wish to gain evolution points in these few days may be in vain. DD. Unknown target detected. Unknown target detected. The target information has not been confirmed by the Federation. There is a 99.99% probability that it is an enemy starship. Please prepare for defense and combat. The Xian Nian series star crystal optical brain, which has evolved to red excellence in quality, now possesses extremely high intelligent capabilities. The moment the Brilliance's detection radar scanned the enemy, it issued an early warning sound. Xu Ziyan was shocked immediately. But before he could report the situation, the biological assault ship of the caravan escort fleet took the lead in issuing a warning. Enemy attack! Enemy attack! Prepare to fight! A hoarse man's voice suddenly came out from the communicator, and the captains who were aboard instantly trembled. Those biological captains are excited. Because most of them came for the evolution value. There are not many people who really want to earn 1,000 or 2,000 yuan a day. They can still run away if they can't fight. Although the reputation points of the Interstellar Hunter Guild will be reduced rapidly, they are at least stronger than Gulen. Of course, no one would choose to escape until the last moment. Xu Ziyan didn't care about them. The moment the Brilliance issued a warning, his instinctive reaction honed over many years of Star Wars simulated battlefields allowed him to respond immediately. Thoughts swept away. The mental power was instantly integrated with the Brilliance. This moment, the display target of the Quicken detection radar will be displayed directly in his mind, and there is no need to watch the detection results of the holographic image. At the same time, the main gun, secondary gun, and anti-aircraft gun were turned on instantly, and then under the control of Xu Ziyan's mind, he aimed the muzzle at the target direction scanned by the detection radar in his mind in the blink of an eye. Without further ado, they didn't even see clearly who the enemy was or what kind of starship the enemy ship was. Just on target. Just start with the main gun and the auxiliary gun, and then let's blast it with a few thousand cannons. At the same time when the main gun and the auxiliary gun are bombarded. Shu Zian synchronized his hands to maximize the power of the Starship's 4-voyage Series 4X hyperlight engines. The Brilliance, which was originally operating at quasi-light speed, entered the state of light speed in the blink of an eye. At this speed, even Shu Lian could not attack the enemy. But the probability of the enemy hitting him is extremely low. The purpose of this is simple. Enter the speed of light state and look at the enemies on the opposite side. If very powerful, that's nothing to say. Escape directly at the speed of light. Regardless of whether you have professional ethics or not, life is the most important thing. If you still talk about professional ethics when your life is gone, you are mentally ill. If the opponent is a rookie, it is possible that he can beat him. Not to mention, speed of light to steal monsters. Talk slowly. Actually, the moment the Brilliance discovered the enemy ship, Shu Zian made this series of super fast reactions. When the Brilliance fired those dozens of cannons and entered the state of light speed navigation, even the warning sound of the assault ship captain had just fallen. The captain of the assault ship even just turned the Starship's cannon around. Brilliant. A series of terrorist operations have been completed. As for the remaining starships, he hasn't even reacted yet. From here, you can see the huge gap. This is the unprecedented gap in value between the number one scholar in the country and ordinary people. The perks of being tortured for so many days in a Star Wars simulation. Also at this moment, expressed vividly, boom boom boom. While the cannonballs were hitting the starship they were aiming at, Shu Zian also saw clearly the enemy's situation at this time. Immediately happy. It is a frigate with a maximum of only one. The remaining 11 ultra-small interstellar pirate groups are all biological reconnaissance ships and mechanical reconnaissance ships. As soon as he saw their strength clearly, Shu Zian understood what happened. It wasn't that they were attacked or ambushed by interstellar pirates. But this interstellar pirate is just too unlucky. Who would have thought that their caravan happened to be taking this route? There are countless routes in the universe. Moreover, the routes are not fixed, and most of them are decided by themselves. Who knew it was such a coincidence that I bumped into them? The key to bad luck is that if this section of the road was passed by a pulse jump, then there would be no encounter. And it just so happened that the pulse transition jumped to this area. That's no wonder. If God wants you to die, you must die. Anyway, Shu Zian's eyes were already red. The Brilliant Horn is like a hungry and dizzy tiger. As a reconnaissance ship, he jumped towards the opponent with unparalleled bravery. That posture was like a reconnaissance ship, giving off the aura of a cruiser. It looked like both camps were stunned. This reconnaissance ship. What the hell is this? Doesn't he know that he is just a scout ship? The pirate frigate that was about to turn around and run away suddenly became angry. Yes, if we can't defeat you, then we'll run away. But how dare you rush up to a mere reconnaissance ship, while the assault ship and those frigates didn't even move? Is it too insulting to pirates? He raised his head and glanced at the other side. Seeing that the other person hadn't rushed over yet, he immediately decided to work. Let's not run away for now. Kill this arrogant scout ship first and then run away. Everyone, focus your fire and kill this reconnaissance ship. Then everyone disperses and evacuates. Gather at the B7 hiding spot. The leader of this pirate group ordered angrily. Yes, receive. Kill this scout ship. Too arrogant, everyone is on fire. Angry curses sounded in the pirates' communicators. Next second, cannonballs were fired one after another, like a barrage, towards the Brilliance. But he didn't know it. In the cockpit of the Brilliance, Shu Zian saw that none of the pirates ran away. He smiled so hard that his throat could be seen clearly. This is no longer a pirate. This is a bunch of good people. What are you doing, Brilliant? Come back quickly. Are you looking for death? Why did you rush up alone? Quickly dodge. Be careful, even if you want evolution points, you have to get it from us. In your own communicator, there were endless exclamations and reprimands. They were scolded and scolded, but they still responded immediately. I'm about to come forward and help. Result. Next second. Their yelling stopped abruptly. They came to a sudden stop. Then one by one stayed in place dumbfounded, watching the scout ship make strange and horrifying movements. See you. In the rain of bullets all over the sky. The reconnaissance ship was like an elf walking in the rain, but it didn't even get wet. In the blink of an eye, he used all kinds of extremely tricky postures to dodge these attacks. While avoiding, a series of shells were fired continuously. Different from the enemy, every shell fired by the reconnaissance ship hit the opposite side with precision. And, the accuracy is outrageously accurate. Only 5 main guns. A hole was torn open in the energy shield of the frigate opposite. At this time, the frigate on the opposite side seemed to have finally sensed that something was wrong, and wanted to turn around and run away. At the same time, make maneuvers to avoid attacks. But it seems to be useless. No matter how he evades, the opponent's shells can always accurately predict the direction and range of his evasion. The 6th main gun. Boom! The cockpit of the frigate was completely torn open, followed by dozens of high-explosive warheads of secondary guns. Flames and roar instantly filled the entire cockpit. The frigate, which was making various maneuvers, trembled, and then stopped moving. On the other hand, the brilliant number. After killing the frigate, the mood seems to be even more excited. These pirates were not stupid either. After seeing the terror of this scout ship beyond their comprehension, they knew that there was nothing they could do. They frantically scattered and fled to the side. How could the excited Shuzian let them go? Those mechanical starships didn't even bother to take a look. Just stare at the remaining 3 biological starships. There are also 3 biological reconnaissance ships. According to the results displayed by the detection radar. One is for beginners, one is for intermediate, and one is for advanced. Enough evolution value. Just kill them all. The quality translational evolution to level 7 is just enough. So much evolutionary value. In fact, it is enough for a Tier 6 reconnaissance ship of ordinary quality, and it has been upgraded to Tier 7 twice. But there is no way. The strength brought by the excellent quality of red requires more evolutionary value. And the following scene also really confirmed how powerful the red and excellent quality of the bright number is. In order to prevent any of these starships from running away, Shuzian simply ignored the attacks of some cannonballs. Just open the shield and rush over. After all, dodging takes a certain amount of time. With the red excellent quality engine running at maximum power, the kinetic energy of the instant rapid acceleration easily caught up with one of the ships, and then fired a few shots. What surprised Shuzian was, this intermediate reconnaissance ship actually has a lot of evolution value reserves. The energy shield in front of his cockpit was easily torn apart by just one main gun shell, and the defense of the cockpit was also easily torn apart, just when the secondary gun that followed was about to hit it. The pirate captain immediately used the evolution value to make instant repairs. The high explosive warhead of the secondary gun exploded outside the cockpit, which was repaired instantly. The warhead of the secondary gun is powerful, but its penetration is quite low. A series of explosions came down, but it didn't even break the glass of the other party's cockpit. Shuzian frowned. See the opportunity quickly. Another continuous round of main guns and dozens of rounds of secondary guns were fired. Then without looking back, he went to chase another pirate's reconnaissance ship. If this person still has enough evolution points to repair instantly, then Shuzian accepted it. You can't let that low-level and high-priced reconnaissance ship run away just because you want to kill this starship. Too uneconomical. In fact, the opponent really has no evolution value. Despair, fear, and unwillingness. The cockpit glass was broken. Dozens of high-explosive warheads from the secondary guns tore apart all living creatures and objects in the cockpit. Another dozen points of evolution points were recorded. Shuzian smiled so hard that his eyes narrowed. Seeing that the 2 biological starships were about to run away, they increased their power again and rushed towards the cannonballs. The shells struck the light blue energy shield, causing circles of light blue ripples. The energy value of the energy shield is also decreasing. After enduring the attack for so long, the energy value still remains at 50%. And the recovery speed is very fast. This is the outstanding quality of red and the power of the Space Shield series energy shields of Holy Armor Company. Caravan. The dumbfounded faces looked at the brilliant ship like a tiger among a flock of sheep, and they were so shocked that they could not speak for a long time. This is hallucinating. I didn't wake up. If there is nothing wrong with my eyes. What I see now should be a reconnaissance ship chasing an enemy fleet led by a frigate to kill. No, it's a violent beating. Violent. Just a few rounds. The captain of the frigate was blown up on the spot. 2 rounds. Dry explode a mid-level reconnaissance ship. And the reason why it takes 2 rounds is because the opponent used an evolution value to repair it urgently. Now, he chased the remaining 2 biological starships and beat them up. Just a few breaths. That is 1 round of effort. The low-level biological reconnaissance ship was directly destroyed in 1 round. The Brilliance turned around and committed suicide towards the advanced biological reconnaissance ship that finally used its dual-engine tail flames to reach maximum speed. Speaking of which, doesn't it mean we don't have a share anymore? Suddenly, a slightly hesitant voice asked. Everyone, including the assault ship captain, suddenly realized something and all gasped. Evolution value. I asked why this brilliant ship is so brave. It turns out that it is for the purpose of evolution. Ah, evolution value. My starship only needs the last few evolution points to evolve into a frigate. No, you have just upgraded to a frigate when you have just reached level 7 reconnaissance ship. Isn't it a bit too early? You will suffer a lot in the future, and the size of the frigate will be greatly restricted. I don't even dare to think about the 8th level or even the 9th level reconnaissance ship. It took a long time to gather the 7th level reconnaissance ship. Let's forget it. Let's get to the frigate as soon as possible. Ah, evolution value. Hiss. Wait a minute. The brilliant ship, could this brilliant ship be the same brilliant ship? A sentence that wakes up the dreamer. In the communicator, the sound of air conditioning sounded one after another. Then he raised his head and stared. The Brilliance sailed at lightning speed and easily caught up with the high-level reconnaissance ship that had fled far away. And easily, just 1 round. Flash sail. See here. Everyone suddenly understood. It must be. It's definitely him. It's definitely the shining name of the unprecedented #1 pick in the country. I heard that Xu Ziyan came to our China Academy, and now I see. Awesome. The brilliant account is awesome. Xu Ziyan is awesome. Wait a minute, we have no meat to eat from the biological starships, but the bones and dregs of these mechanical starships can't be wasted. Yes, as long as you don't blow up too many areas, you can still sell it for a lot of money. Let's go, come on. A bunch of interstellar creatures. Like a pack of hungry wolves. He frantically attacked the mechanical starships that were running away, their courage frightened by the Brilliance. I can't get the evolution value. Then get some mechanical starship parts and sell them for money. It's better than not getting anything at all. Here. Xu Ziyan caught up with and killed the last advanced biological reconnaissance ship. My mood couldn't be better. Enough is enough. Enough for level 7. But Fuyu didn't think about it. All I can say is that it's just right. You may have to temporarily use about 5 or 6 points from the 100 evolution points you signed up for. But this is all innocuous. In the communicator, their words of exclamation and excitement were heard. Xu Ziyan naturally heard it. There is nothing to hide. Once you know it, you will know it. Now is not the time to think about that. He didn't even look at the remaining mechanical starships. Driving the Brilliance, I happily started searching. Evolution value, wealth value, aren't they all here? The cash that happens to be earned can also make up for the savings that have become increasingly scarce recently. Otherwise, Xu Ziyan would really worry that one day he would not have enough money to buy shells and fuel. Now Xu Ziyan uses good shells and good fuel. I happily started my long-awaited search. The Tainan star system is also a very prosperous star system. The searched parts were sold for more than 1 million yuan. Gained 112 wealth points. Not too much, but not too little either. At the same time, it also fully reflects the benefits of the limit length, width and height of 79.9 meters. It's no problem to fit all these things. There is no need to ask others to help install it. Xu Zhuangyuan, see you next time. Xu Zhuangyuan, let's say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. This time I can see Xu Zhuangyuan beating up the pirate group. I just want to say, you are truly worthy of being a brilliant evildoer. You are truly worthy of being the unprecedented national champion. There is no one who is worthy of a great name. It is really amazing, and I will brag about it in the future. Compared with the lifelessness of the previous 2 days. Now there is as much excitement as there is in the communicator. Xu Ziyan responded with a smile, and then the brilliant ship swung its bow, left the port, and plunged straight into the deep space. This voyage, Xu Ziyan felt quite satisfied. More than $1 million in extra money. And the evolution value enough to evolve to the 7th level of the brilliant. This trip was worth it. On the way back, 653 is going to be much faster. Hurry up with all your strength, and in just 1.5 days, the Shenzhou star system has grown. Before going back, by the way, on the nearest moon, go to replenish fuel and ammunition. 30 to 40 light years back and forth, the fuel is almost exhausted. I didn't have any money before, through. The superluminal engine uses the worst dihydropolymer, and the pulse jump engine uses the worst tritium mixture. Now I have money. Of course, you have to feed the engine with good food. Good fuel not only has a higher combustion rate, but also can store more fuel in the fuel tank. And the loss to the engine will be greatly reduced. Starships also have wear and tear, and the loss is not small, and they need to be maintained every once in a while. Dihydro, directly on the dihydrogel. Still not the best, but not bad either. Tritium, too, goes directly onto aerogels. Ammunition goes without saying. It must be a variety of warheads produced by large groups and companies, as well as base drive fuel. Although it will be more expensive. But it is more stable, and it will not lead to duds and so on if it launches more. There will be no situation where the power is unstable, sometimes big and sometimes small. Buy. The total cost is 1,800 yuan. Well. All right. In this day and age, fuel or something. It is everywhere in the universe. Substances such as hydrogen and tritium are the most numerous areas in the universe. It's like oil in the 21st century, if there were as many as water. 98 gasoline, if you sell it for a dime a liter, you think it's too expensive. He returned to the lodging star by driving the fully fueled and ammunition of the brilliant. Haven't really entered the lodging star yet. It can be seen that today's accommodation stars are much more lively. All kinds of starships come and go. Mostly reconnaissance ships, followed by frigates, and finally assault ships. There were very few destroyers, and none of the cruisers came in or out. Not to mention battleships and deep space ships. From the detection radar point of view, these scout ships, most of them are intermediate biological reconnaissance ships. There are only a small number of low-level biological reconnaissance ships. As for the high-level reconnaissance ships, at least none of the starships that came in and out were seen. Not surprisingly, these are all freshmen. This is normal. Shenzhou University, as one of the top universities, how can ordinary people get in? For example, those low-level biological reconnaissance ships are basically shining stars and future stars. Although the level is slightly lower, but the combat effectiveness is high. And the Star Wars level of these captains has to keep up, otherwise they won't be able to get in. Such as Chong Xiaokong. After a few glances, I didn't pay any more attention. He still has to rush back to evolve the brilliance to the 7th level. However, he thought so, but the brilliant number, unlike any other style on the market, still attracted the attention of many students. What starship is this? What brand is this? Why haven't I seen it before? Hey, classmate, what brand and model is your starship? The maximum length, width and height of a reconnaissance ship. I guess your starship is not cheap, right? I pay attention to starships every day, and I can be sure that there is absolutely no one of this style. Moreover, the keel, hull, etc. all look familiar. So classmate, this starship of yours cannot be purely evolved, right? The curious voices of these students rang out from the communicator. Xu Ziyan had no choice but to reply, well, yes, it evolved from Na. Immediately there was an exclamation in the communicator. You're awesome, classmate. Pure evolution. Dude has courage. Like me, I don't dare to evolve purely. If pure evolution fails, my whole life will be useless. Yes, after that, the evolution is useless, and there is still room for redemption. It was useless at the beginning. Even if the enemy tries to kill you, you can't kill it, and there is no evolution value. Tisk tisk. Which department is your classmate from? These freshmen are very enthusiastic. Xu Ziyan couldn't laugh or cry. This group of students is really too enthusiastic. It seems to be full of curiosity about everything. What is there to be curious about a purely evolved starship? After a few casual sentences, he drove Lu hurriedly to Neofifa. Classmate, where are you going? Classmate, you are not a freshman. No, How can you live on a private floating island? This shit is outrageous. I thought it was a freshman of the same class. Seeing this novel starship flying straight into a floating island in the sky, it has not been blocked by the activated blue energy shield. Everyone immediately understood. I thought it was a new student, but it turned out to be an old student. Maybe it's the kind of veteran who binds twice and 3 times. Who knows? Soon the old man explained. Wow, elementary school brothers and primary school girls, I am not an old student, just like you, I am also a freshman. A freshman too. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. How can a freshman live on a private floating island? Those who have money can't live there. Hee, there is nothing impossible, he is Shuzian. There is no Shuzian in the country. First rank evolutionist Shuzian. Hiss, he is Shuzian. Then, that is the legendary number 1. New students can live on the floating island, envious to the point of explosion. It is indeed the unprecedented number 1 in the country. Yeah, oh, don't talk about you guys and girls, we old students are as envious as you are twisted. Shuzian's big name, the day before the official start of school, instantly spread throughout the school. I won't talk about the previous ones. Follow the well-informed old students to explain. Private floating island, popular space armor, 3 free courses. Starter set, especially the last 3 cruiser escort times and a full 5,000 points. Not to mention the new students, even the old students, their expressions are distorted and their walls are separated with envy. 5,000 points. Most freshmen enroll, only 50 points. What a difference of 1,000 times. Envious, beautiful to bursting. But, immediately after another news came out. The envy of the bursting new students boiled instantly. Without him, Shunzhou Academy. Pay attention to a strong man. At the same time, pay attention to fairness and justice. Okay, don't you envy others? Want to be treated like someone else? Can you go for the challenge? As long as you go to the challenge and win, then all these benefits will be yours. As for whether Shuzian can defend, the school doesn't care at all. Treated you so well, you can't hold on to yourself, who is to blame? That can only show that you are not talented enough. It can only show that you are not worthy of the treatment given by the school. Of course, this is for new students only. Only unconvinced freshmen have the opportunity to challenge. And everyone has only one chance to challenge. And the important thing is coming. You have to defeat Shuzian first, and you want to get the Shuzian treatment. Then you can't challenge in vain. Since we pay attention to fairness and justice, if you win, you can get the treatment of others, so why don't you pay anything if you lose? Dream, you have to pay what is equal. As for what it is, I will discuss it with Shuzian. People can challenge if they agree, and you can't force the challenge if they don't agree. In order to avoid war avoidance, the school will also have arbitration. Arbitration results show that if the challenger takes out the bet, the school considers it equal. Then Shuzian can't refuse. For a while, a small number of freshmen who have confidence in themselves are all like chicken blood. Getting ready for the official start of school tomorrow. Challenge Shuzian. Bright Island. Shuzian knew nothing about all this. He is fully preparing for the evolution of the brilliant. 6 to 7 is a hurdle. And crossed this hurdle. Well, from the frigate, it is only one step away in the true sense. No matter which world or era, there will always be geniuses and ordinary people. The same is true for Starship evolution. As everyone knows, starships can only evolve to the next level when they enter the advanced stage. But in fact, what is said here is that as long as you enter the advanced stage, you can evolve to the next level at any time. For example, the brilliant number. The brilliant number is currently at level 6, so that's definitely not possible. But, as long as you evolve to level 7, you can evolve into a frigate at any time. You don't have to wait until level 8 or even level 9 to evolve. Then comes the difference between genius and ordinary people, or between having dreams and salted fish. The vast majority of biological captains are mediocre in strength and talent. Under normal circumstances, you will choose level 7 to evolve to the next stage. The reason for this choice. 1. The evolution value needs too much. In the previous evolution, it was extremely difficult to collect the evolution value. Naturally, it was possible to evolve as early as possible. Second, biological energy is too difficult to cultivate. The full value of a 6th rank fighter is bioenergy. But the full value of a 7th rank fighter becomes 550. The full value of an 8th rank fighter is 670. So much bioenergy. It is not something that can be cultivated in a day or two. Third, in the eyes of ordinary people, no matter how powerful their reconnaissance ships are, they cannot defeat a frigate. Of course, this is only in the eyes of ordinary people. With that evolution value, wouldn't it be good to directly evolve to the next level? Combine various, in the universe, whether it is the human race or other races. Ordinary biological captain. The vast majority will choose to evolve to the next level at the 7th level. Tier 7 reconnaissance ship evolves into a frigate. The 7th tier frigate evolves into an assault ship. This kind of meaning, and those who are a bit dreamy, are some little geniuses. You will choose to reach the 8th level, and then you will evolve to the next level if you feel it is no longer necessary. Only the truly top geniuses would consider evolving to the 5th level. Wait until the 9th level, and then evolve to the next level. The higher the level of evolution, maybe it won't bring much change in terms of combat effectiveness. 18.2. The changes that living things can bring are too great. Let's put it that way. The vast majority of people reach the 7th level of full bioenergy, which is 550 points, and then break through to become a warrior, and a starship evolves into a frigate. Then 550 points of bioenergy will definitely not be able to support you in evolving your starship to its extreme length, width and height. And the duration of controlling the starship battle will be greatly reduced. The full value of the 9th level is 810. There is a gap of 260 bioenergy points between them. This is definitely not a small amount. The ability to continue combat is not at the same level at all. And it has enough support to evolve your starship to the ultimate length, width and height of a frigate. And the benefits of extreme length, width and height. No need to go into details. There are so many benefits. A more powerful engine can be installed. More and larger cannons can be installed. Can carry more ammunition and fuel. Can use thicker armor. The fighting time is longer than yours. No matter how bad I am, I won't be worse than you. Just tell me who is stronger. And Shu Xian. His ultimate goal is not the 8th level, not the 9th level. 2. Peak warrior rank. Very few people know, or even very few people know. Actually, above beginner, intermediate and advanced levels, there is another peak, the pinnacle of the 10th grade warrior. The pinnacle of the 10th level reconnaissance ship. The reason why so few people know. It's because very few people pay attention to this. Top geniuses basically only focus on the 9th level. Ordinary people, it is enough to pay attention to the 7th and 8th ranks, and the 9th rank does not bring attention. It really comes from reaching the peak of the 10th level, which slows down the pace of growth itself to the 8th level, and then to the 9th level. In fact, they have more training time and a lot more evolution points than ordinary people. When you were at Tier 9, others might already be Tier 2 or Tier 3 frigates. Going up to the 10th level, I am afraid that everyone will already be a mid-level frigate. Too slow. Not that special kind of guy, or not that kind of super invincible genius. Such as Shu Xian. No one will evolve their starship to the 10th level. Shu Xian, that must be the 10th level, okay. Bioenergy he didn't need to worry about at all. As long as the wealth value is sufficient, creatures can have as much as they want. All he lacks is evolution value. They are all systematic men. Still have a dream. The full value of the 9th grade is 810. The full value of 10 products is 970. That is to say, wait until he evolves the brilliance into a frigate. He can drive a frigate with extreme length, width and height. It will last longer than anyone else. Of course these are things to consider later. What's more, the evolution value has not yet been determined. Now, evolving to level 7 is more important. Early the next morning, Shu Xian, who didn't sleep all night, was in high spirits. At this time, the brilliance was still evolving its keel on its own. The metal materials that need to be added have already been added. It only needs to wait for the keel of the brightness to completely absorb its essence and expel the impurities to complete the evolution. This process will last more than 3 hours. I just happened to come over to attend the opening ceremony. At the same time, I happened to come over to see the principal of Shenzhou University, one of the most powerful members of the Earth Federation. Star Destroyer Captain. Within the Earth Federation, Star Destroyers are already the most powerful existence. Only outside the Earth Federation, there are terrifying and powerful men who can surpass the captain of a Star Destroyer. Accommodation Star, on the huge square of the super-large floating city in the main building of Shenzhou Academy. All new students who enter the school stand upright. A rough estimate is that there are at least 100,000 people. After all, it is for the entire Earth Federation. This person is actually nothing. The total number of teachers and students in the school exceeds 700,000. Xu Zian. At this time, he was standing on the side of the Evolution Division. Including Xu Zian, there are only 9 students in this class of Shenzhou Academy. The looks from the classmates around me are so weird and weird. I want to laugh but dare not laugh. But with deep doubts. Obviously they are very confused about one thing. How could this national champion go to the evolutionary division? Yes, I know that he still has the status of a first-grade evolutionist and is a member of the Evolutionary Association. But, Shenzhou Academy, famous for its Star Wars series, joins the Evolutionist series. What can be learned? Don't understand. I really don't understand what this top pick is thinking. Don't talk about other people. It's the other 8 freshmen from the evolution department. They all looked at Xu Zian with strange expressions. In fact, even if they had the slightest possibility, they would not choose the evolution division. About 10 minutes passed. An old man with white beard and hair but good spirits finally arrived. He looks very old, but he is walking like a dragon. From a distance, you can feel the breath of him coming towards your face. Xu Zian pupil shrinks. A god of war level warrior. It is said that this kind of strong man, it can already physically fly into the air, and can run rampant in the universe without the need for space armor. You can even blow up assault ships and destroyers with just one punch. Can imagine, how powerful is such a powerful starship? Star Destroyer, Star Destroyer. This name, but it's not just a name. Destroying stars means annihilating a planet directly. One shell, blow up a planet. How terrifying, how powerful. Xu Zian's eyes were full of yearning. Such a strong man. Eternal life away, only one step away. In addition to the old man, other vice presidents, department deans, and tutors followed closely behind. Xu Zian's mentor, Zhan Wushuang, who is obsessed with evolving his own talents, is also among them. Talk about it. My mentor is also perfect. After accepting her as a mentor. These days, she has been studying the evolution of starships every day. Sometimes even turn around and ask Xu Zian for advice. Simply outrageous. I'm just a bad guy, so I really don't have that talent. Some questions gave Xu Zian a headache. Fortunately, she has fulfilled her duty as a Star Wars mentor. If Xu Zian doesn't understand anything about Star Wars, ask her and she will reply immediately. And answered very carefully. Xu Zian benefited a lot. My name is Ji Chengjian, the principal of Shenzhou Academy. Principal Ji Chengjian swept his eyes across the audience. The originally noisy square quickly became quiet. Ji Chengjian's eyes showed a trace of satisfaction, and he nodded. Today, on behalf of all the teachers at China Academy, I welcome you to join us. I believe you all know the study rules of our school. Especially the points system, I believe everyone is very clear about it. Here, you can have no money, but you can't have no points. How do you want points? Only fight. There was a pause. His sharp eyes like falcons suddenly looked towards Xu Zian. A smile appeared on his face. Said, I received the message. Yesterday, many freshmen expressed their dissatisfaction with the high treatment given to classmate Xu Zian by the school. It doesn't matter. What our Chinese university values is fairness and justice and respecting the strong. Since you are not convinced, you can challenge classmate Xu Zian. You win, then all the benefits that classmate Xu Zian has now belong to you. Of course, we don't like empty-handed wolves. Everyone has only one chance to challenge, and they must put up a bet of equal value, or a bet approved by classmate Xu Zian, as the challenge bet. You win, it's all yours. If you lose, then all your things belong to classmate Xu Zian. Aren't you unconvinced? Then challenge. The words fell. There were 100,000 new students in the room, as well as the teachers and vice principals. There are also old students watching the fun. One by one, he immediately turned his head and focused all his attention on Xu Ziyan. Xu Ziyan was startled. He looked deeply at the old principal who was smiling at him on the stage. Could it be, this old principal is also his nephew or his senior brother or uncle? Why did you give me such a big gift? If there is no such relationship. That is, there are so many good people in this world. I dare not say anything else. Xu Ziyan admitted it. As a freshman, I should be invincible. If you can't do this, you deserve to be taken away. When the eyes came together, Xu Ziyan behaved quite calmly. He wished that someone would challenge him soon. But it's obviously not possible now. There is a trace of hesitation hidden behind the scorching eyes. Want to challenge Xu Ziyan? First they have to put up something of equal value as collateral. Otherwise, why would others accept your challenge? Just this one. 99.99% of the people were eliminated. Xu Ziyan was not in a hurry anyway. It's good to have someone challenge you. It doesn't matter if no one challenges you. On stage, Principal Ji Yu Chengjian couldn't help but nodded when he saw that Xu Ziyan was always calm. He withdrew his gaze, looked at the audience, and continued in a deep voice, "In China University, competition will always exist. And only through competition and constant competition can you truly grow. A true dragon can never emerge from a pool of stagnant water. Only the rivers and the sea are the places where real dragons emerge. So, every time a new student enters the school will reset a new freshman ranking. At the beginning of the rankings, they will be ranked at will. You need to go to the ring and challenge each other on your own. And every 6 months, there will be a settlement. Those at the top of the rankings will receive a lot of rewards. For example, if you rank first on the ranking list, you will get 200 points. Second place, 1,000 points, third place, 500 points. So, don't think that the points given out by the school are few. If you want enough points, then work hard yourself. I announce that the freshman rankings are officially open. Today's freshman school meeting is over here, everyone should leave." After Ji Yu Chengjian finished speaking, he led a group of teachers and Shi Shiren away. Only a group of classmates were left who instantly became lively. At the same time, many people looked towards Xu Ziyan. His eyes were gleaming with excitement. But at the same time there was a hint of hesitation. After all, if you want to challenge Xu Ziyan, if you fail, the price will be quite high. Xu Ziyan didn't expect to receive a challenge now. Besides, now that he has received the challenge, he can't challenge it. The brilliance is still evolving. Thinking of this, I don't want to wait too long. Turn around and walk to the side. Get on the Audi Star Shuttle and start. Buzz, sound. The Star Shuttle flew towards the bright island in the sky. Freshman rankings. Xu Ziyan is naturally also moving. The first place has 2,000 points, so it is impossible not to move. But he was in no hurry. It is settled once every half a year. Return to Brilliant Island. Then he plunged into the evolution of the brilliance. After the last teaching from Master. In fact, Xu Ziyan is certain that he can evolve 1 or 2 parts with perfect quality. If we verify it in a systematic evolutionary simulation, this probability can be increased to 100%. But, that's just ordinary, unimportant parts that can evolve to pink perfection quality. Xu Ziyan still doesn't have much confidence in the main components. Just evolve some unimportant parts to pink perfection. Seriously, it's really not necessary. First of all, it will directly lead to the disappearance of the overall quality characteristics of the brilliant number. Because the excellent overall quality of red is based on the excellent quality of even one screw. It can't be lower, and it can't be higher either. If it is higher, it will not be of excellent overall red quality. This is like that kind of online game. Suits with the same attributes and level will have suit effects when you wear them. But no matter which one of them you replace, no matter if this piece of equipment is more powerful, the set attributes will disappear immediately. Then it's not a suit. The same is true for the overall quality characteristics of the Starship. In order to evolve a few unimportant parts to perfect quality, the overall characteristics of the brilliance were lost. Any fool knows how to choose. Unless Xu Ziyan is sure to evolve the main guns, secondary guns, and engines to perfect quality, he will basically just evolve directly according to the current situation. So-called translational evolution. It is to ensure that the quality of the starships is exactly the same evolution. Not high, not low. This is translational evolution. And the Red reconnaissance ship of excellent quality has evolved through translation. There is no possibility for Shuzian to make any mistakes. Time. Just spend it slowly like this. Every day. Shuzian is all about evolving starships and then learning. Classes have started, but Shuzian hasn't been there yet. The main thing is starship evolution, he has to keep an eye on it all the time. Fortunately, after purchasing this course, you can learn through the optical brain watch. The teacher lectures in the classroom. Then the optical brain watch can be watched in real time. Of course, this kind of learning method is definitely not good if no one is present. But the impact will not be great. At least Shuzian did learn a lot. After the systematic study has really started, only then did Shuzian realize how narrow his previous cognition was. A lot of knowledge points, a lot of Star Wars skills. In fact, they can all be used. It will even teach you how to use the environment of the current starry sky area to fight against the enemy. How to gain greater advantage. Various novel combat methods aroused great interest of Shuzian. For example, one of the methods of combat is mentioned. When fighting an enemy on a massive planet, it can be used to concentrate on attacking the opponent's gravity control system. And once the gravity control system on the enemy starship fails, anti-gravity technology disappears. Then the bigger the starship of the opponent, the easier it is to break through the Roche limit and be directly torn into pieces by the terrifying gravity of the massive planet. The teacher even pointed out that this combat method has been verified on the battlefield for many years, and it is real and useful. I don't know anything else. Anyway, Shuzian immediately made a decision. Immediately change the evolution plan temporarily. Buy a piece of core armor to protect the gravity control system on the canny. Joke. In the universe, gravity is extremely terrifying. It is only because humans have mastered the anti-gravity technology that starships can fly arbitrarily on every planet. Even space suits are equipped with small anti-gravity systems. Unimaginable. Once the brilliance encounters that kind of scene, how should it be handled? Shuzian thought a lot. Perhaps, there is only one way to deal with it. Instantly repair the gravity control system with a lot of evolution points. Otherwise, once it encounters that kind of supermassive planet, the brilliant will definitely break through the Roche limit and be torn into pieces. A few days of study down, Shuzian really learned a lot of useful Star Wars knowledge and skills. Even just yesterday, Shuzian deliberately entered a Star Wars simulation again to try. Turn out, take advantage of these acquired combat knowledge and skills. Then cooperate with the teaching system and his own Star Wars strength. For the first time, there was a scene where they were not killed as soon as they entered. And when the one-year simulation ends, Shuzian has already relied on the 6th order brilliant number. Killed a tier 6 frigate of the Inhumans. What's more, the other party is still the one with blue rare quality for most of its parts, and the kind that has reached the blue rare quality rating as a whole. Just learn these. Shuzian's battle. Finally, it is no longer Yeluzi. Bring a sub-professional taste. No longer relying entirely on the experience gained from fighting. Know how to use the space environment and terrain to fight. That's good. Even know how to identify the Achilles heel of the enemy's starship, how to attack the enemy's Achilles heel, etc. Just a few days of study. The promotion of Shuzian is too big. Come to school to study. Instead of relying on the existence of a system, the decision to be a free and unrestrained star hunter. Shuzian thinks, you did it really well. It was the 6th day of the evolution of the brilliant. The day before all evolutions are about to be completed. Challenge against Shuzian. It's finally here, and the first one to come to challenge. She was an unorthodox human girl. A little round face with baby fat, cute cat human girl everywhere. Although the girl looks quite cute, but that figure is a bit too mature. And the personality and appearance are completely opposite. Unlike Jo with her lovely looks, her character is that very arrogant type. But she does have the capital of arrogance. Because in just a few days, she goes around challenging. Now, ranked number 1 on the freshman ranking list. Today, finally couldn't hold back. Come to challenge Shuzian. Outside the bright island, hundreds of students were waiting outside. There are new students and old students. All came to watch the fun. They just want to see it. Xu Ziyan, the national champion, and the current #1 freshman, who is weaker and who is stronger. They are all waiting quietly. Because without Xu Ziyan's permission, they can't get in, can only wait outside. Soon, the figure of Xu Ziyan appeared. Xu Ziyan drove the Star Shuttle, and the doors of the Star Shuttle were all open. Just like this, the two sides looked at each other through the energy shield. Xu Ziyan also looked at the other party. Those two snow-white cat ears just wanted to pinch them. And the snow-white and snow-white cat tail behind her. I really want to pull it to see how the other party reacts. As if sensing the malicious intent in Xu Ziyan's gaze, the other party's big eyes stared fiercely at Xu Ziyan. Xu Ziyan coughed lightly and touched his nose. Said, "You want to challenge me, what about your chips?" Xu Ziyan asked straight to the point. Miao Xiaomi's baby fat face is full of seriousness. Wen Yan said, "I naturally brought my chips." Flipping his little hand, he took out an alloy box out of nowhere. Said in a deep voice, "Inside this is a cat star stone of our cat human race, weighing 7 grams per day. I will use this cat star stone as a bargaining chip to challenge you, I think it should be enough." Xu Ziyan's eyes froze all of a sudden. There was also a little breathing sound around. Cat star rock, a kind of ore specially produced by the mother star of the cat human race. It is extremely rare and precious. Back then, the cat human race was fully invaded by a certain race, and 720 was almost wiped out. The human race at that time stood up and threw an olive branch to the cat human race. Facing the catastrophe of genocide, the cat human race immediately took refuge in the human race. The human race took action, and the cat human race was able to survive. The reason why they did it to the cat human race in the first place. It is to go to the cat star stone of the cat people. Cat star stone is an extremely precious treasure of heaven and earth. And it is used for Starship evolution. The purpose is to increase the rigidity of parts. It is a kind of high-level evolution of Starship, a kind of treasure of heaven and earth that can be used. The brilliant is currently unavailable, but it will definitely come in handy in the future. And the cat star stone weighing 377 grams in front of him. If you use cosmic currency to convert, it is absolutely not a problem to sell 500 million universe coins. Now, it was used by Miao Xiaomi as a challenge chip. I don't know whether it should be said that she has absolute confidence in her own strength, or should it be said that she is a prodigal. Xu Ziyan has absolute self-confidence regardless of whether Miao Xiaomi is a prodigal. He just knows. There is absolutely no reason to extrapolate the cat star stone sent here. Without even thinking about it, he nodded without hesitation and said, "Yes. That's enough." Miao Xiaomi nodded lightly and said, "As a classmate, I have to remind you. My Starship is currently level 7. Actually, I was recruited because of special admissions. But there were some problems at that time, which resulted in not participating in the special recruitment examination. As far as I know, your brilliant number is only at the 6th level right now. Oh, by the way, the overall quality of my Starship has reached red excellence. So, are you sure to accept my challenge? As a classmate, Miao Xiaomi thinks it's better to remind Xu Ziyan. After all, they are classmates, not mortal enemies. The reason why she wants to challenge Xu Ziyan. 5,000 points is indeed part of the reason, but not the absolute reason. Points, she can earn them herself. The main reason for challenging Xu Ziyan is to be the real #1 among freshmen. She has already made plans. Wait until the challenge to Xu Ziyan is over. After, just one by one, to challenge those special students. Those special recruits have been training ministers individually since they were specially recruited. Had no contact with them. Since you want to take the well-deserved first place for freshmen, that would definitely defeat those special recruits. And now, if Xu Ziyan feels that he can't beat himself, throw in the towel. She turned away. That kind of people. She is not worthy to be her opponent. Xu Ziyan said with a smile. Well, good, the overall red and excellent Tier 7 reconnaissance ship is amazing, I admire it. Then tomorrow, challenge tomorrow, you choose the location and time. Miao Xiaomi's pupils shrank. The corners of the delicate and lovely mouth showed a proud arc, and he nodded and said, "You didn't disappoint me." Okay, then tomorrow, at noon tomorrow. The location is to go to the planet of the Star Wars system, where there are battlefields and sufficient protection measures. You can let go of the fight, don't worry too much. Shu Ziyan still smiled and nodded. No problem, tomorrow at 12 noon, be there on time. Miao Xiaomi stopped talking nonsense. Driving the Star Shuttle, he turned and left directly. Seeing that there was no excitement today, the rest of the students also glanced enviously at the Cancan Island, and left one after another with envy. Wait until they leave. ACCA, Shu Ziyan chuckled. Good man. Sure enough, the star in the 21st century was right. When you are strong enough, you will be surrounded by good people. Look, escort some time ago. The pirates didn't run away, but waited for themselves. When the school started, the headmaster personally announced that anyone can challenge himself, but he must come up with enough chips. Isn't this the same as sending materials and resources to yourself? It made Shu Ziyan wonder for a while whether the principal was also his nephew or something. Nice guy +2. Today, as expected, someone really fell for it. And also took out the extremely precious cat star stone, which is the kind with 37 spikes. It is worth at least 500 million, and it is the kind that has a price but no market. Look, that star was right. Unfortunately, after this cat star stone is obtained, it cannot be sold for money in exchange for wealth value. Because if you sell it, don't even think about buying it back at the original price. Wealth value. Now I don't have any shortage for the time being, or I can say that I'm quite rich. But cat star rock. If you sell it, it will be difficult to get it next time. Oh, right, if you beat the cat Xiaomi tomorrow. Is it his own name that will be the first in the airborne freshman list? Then the students who want to be in the rankings are forced to challenge themselves. It saves the trouble of going to challenge one by one and winning the first place. This little Miao, there is one thing to say, is really good. Abba, just go all out, to show respect. The current number 1 freshman, Mimi, challenged Shu Ziyan with a 377-gram cat star stone. Shu Ziyan accepts the challenge, and tomorrow he will face-to-face on the battlefield of Star Wars planets. It spread throughout the entire Shenzhou Academy with the momentum of a prairie fire. Today's Shenzhou Academy. If it is said that the most popular ones are Shuan and Miao Xiaomi without a doubt. Miao Xiaomi's strength, after 6 days of continuous combat, defeated dozens of freshmen and established her first position as a novice. Shu Ziyan, who is known as an unprecedented top scorer in the college entrance examination, undoubtedly also attracted everyone's attention. Now the two can be said to be sparks hitting the earth. In fact, there are different opinions on who is stronger and who is weaker. Although intellectually, it is believed that Shu Ziyan must be stronger. After all, the strength of the national champion lies here. But after all, no one saw Shu Ziyan make a move with their own eyes. What's more, it has been a few months since the college entrance examination. The gap between geniuses is not particularly large. Maybe in the past few months, the geniuses behind have caught up with things that are not necessarily certain. As for the special admissions, has never shown up until now. According to the grapevine, it is said that they are following the teachers from the special recruitment camp to hunt and kill pirates everywhere. On the contrary, it is not that famous. It was just light the next day. There are countless starships flying to Star Wars. Eat melons and watch plays. Let's see if this Miao Xiaomi is stronger. Or the national champion is not in vain. 11 o'clock at noon. Shu Ziyan finally set off on the Brilliant. The Brilliant can't see any changes from the outside. Only Captain Shu Ziyan knows. Reach the 7th order Brilliant number. How strong is it? Smile lightly. Accelerate suddenly. Fly towards the Star Wars planet. Attach a photo of Miao Xiaomi. 11:55 in the afternoon. Today's Star Wars star is extraordinarily lively. 100,000 hearts, at least a third of them came. There are also some old students who came to watch the fun. Almost all kinds of scout ships surrounded the battlefield of Star Wars. The battlefield of Star Wars is already very vast, but facing tens of thousands of starships, it is still not big enough. But 1v1 battles are absolutely enough. In the middle of the battlefield, Miao Xiaomi's Miao Miao is quietly suspended in the air, waiting for the appearance of the Brilliant. Everyone was discussing, curiously discussing who has a higher winning percentage today. I think it should be the brilliant. After all, Shuzian is the real number one in the country. What about the number one scholar in the country? It is said that when he first entered school, his starship was still at the 6th rank. But Shuzian is undoubtedly stronger. Shuzian and Miao Xiaomi are both top-notch geniuses. Perhaps Shuzian is indeed better than Miao Xiaomi, but Miao Xiaomi's starship is already at the 7th level, while Shuzian's is only at the 6th level, which makes up for his strength. There is a huge gap in the competition, so it's really hard to say who will win and who will lose. This is reasonable, but I still support Shuzian. I am oppressed by a girl named Miao Xiaomi, who is still an unorthodox human race. I am not happy. No, this classmate, when you say this, why don't you first look at the 2 horns on my head? Then take a look at my gender. Well, the 2 classmates who were chatting were suddenly embarrassed, and the human classmate turned his head to look at it. The object of entry is a 2-meter-long burly with 2 horns growing on the top of the head, a burly, female, right? He does not know. Looking at the other party's unfriendly eyes, the human classmate laughed awkwardly and stopped talking about this topic. 11:58. I'm coming. Tisk tisk, I came at the last moment. It's finally here. Wait. Bet. I beat Shuzian, 1 point. How about points? Nima, I only have 50 points in total, and I've already spent 38 points, do you want it? There is a saying about the brilliant number. Specially designed by Shuzian. Looking at it, there is a majestic momentum. It is not as hideous and terrifying as ordinary starships, but it has a deterrent force that cannot be ignored. HMPH, you are on time. In the communicator, Miao Xiaomi's arrogant snort came over. I am over-flattered. In Miao Miao, Miao Xiaomi couldn't help but widen her beautiful eyes when she heard Shuzian's words. He wouldn't really think that he was praising him, would he? HMPH, don't talk nonsense. Since you agree, let's get started. After a pause, Miao Xiaomi reminded again in a haughty tone, but I still have to ask you again. Are you sure you are ready to accept my challenge? I tell you, I'm strong. And your starship is level 6, and mine is level 7. And you seem to be secondary bound. If you don't compare now, I can just pretend it didn't happen. In the brilliant number, Shuzian smiled and said, compare. Why not compare? Don't worry, although I'm bound twice, I'm not that bad. Wait, I will definitely do my best to show my respect for you. Hearing Shuzian's words, Miao Xiaomi's voice softened a little. Well, that's fine. To show respect, I will do my best later. Go all out. You just come, I can stand it. Miao Xiaomi's tone was full of confidence. Shuzian's smile became even brighter. Okay, I will definitely do my best. Now that Shuzian has said it all, Miao Xiaomi believes that as a classmate, she has done a good job. Since Shuzian still has to accept the challenge, no wonder she, Miao Xiaomi, is cruel and ruthless. After a pause, she said again, that's right. I will really take action with all my strength later. But don't worry, there are teachers from the school watching the battlefield. If they find you in danger, they will rescue you as soon as possible. Shuzian. Yeah. At this time, Miao Xiaomi finally frowned slightly. She suddenly felt, there seems to be something wrong. But she couldn't seem to find what was wrong for a while. Never mind, do not care. At this time, seeing the 2 of them getting ready, the battlefield teacher also drove his own starship. A cruiser arrived over the battlefield. He will be watching the whole fight between the 2. Once it is discovered that a fatal crisis has occurred on any side, it will immediately come to the rescue. He is confident. A battle between 2 small scout ships. He can be saved easily. See, the 2 are ready. He pressed the communicator and said solemnly, now that everything is ready. Then get ready to fight. Follow Star Wars rules. Remember, even if you go all out, you still want to kill someone. That's just one request. Okay, let's get ready. His voice fell. The 2 starships flew to the edge of this circular battlefield and looked at each other directly. Battlefield number 7 is a large battlefield, enough for 2 people to perform. In Miao Miao, Miao Miu stared at the distance with her beautiful eyes and could only see a small, bright number. A trace of determination flashed in his eyes. I, Meow Xiaomi, the daughter of the leader of the cat tribe. You must become a strong man who suppresses an era. In this way, we can truly improve the status of our cat race in the Cosmic Human Federation. Only. Can we truly take revenge? So, Shu Zian, I'm sorry. You will be the stepping stone for my little cat to become a powerful person. Meow Xiaomi clenched her fists tightly. His eyes are firm and his tone is firm. Seeing both sides arriving at positions ready for battle. Finally, supervising teacher gave an order. Now that we're all ready. Then I declare, the combat trial begins. Falling with his last word. Meow Xiaomi's meow number moved instantly. Meow Meow's starship is a unique starship of the cat people. There are billions of people in the universe, and there are countless types of starships. Many races have their own unique starships. For example, Meowth's starship. The cat race's unique starship has the main feature of being more flexible and sensitive than starships of the same level. Especially the engine of the cat-human starship is a major feature in the universe. This engine may not have long endurance, but its rapid acceleration and deceleration are extremely good. The result is a unique starship of the cat people, which is extremely sensitive, extremely agile. It is an excellent choice for an assault-type starship. Therefore, cat-human starships are now selling very well in the universe. Many humans will buy cat-human starships. But there is no doubt about it. Meow Xiaomi's boat is specially customized by the cat people, and the technology used in it is definitely higher than the ones sold on the market. Start with the teacher's voice. Meowth's starship instantly changed from a static state to a state close to the speed of light. The terrifying rapid acceleration capability of the engine, as well as the super toughness of the starship as a whole, made most of the students present change their expressions. Such speed. I'm afraid it's difficult to hit the opponent, right? He quickly looked towards Shu Zian. I want to see how Shu Zian would handle this situation. Should we cover it with firepower, or rely on the starship's own defense and attack power to directly attack it? However, when everyone looked at Shu Zian, they all saw a scene that made them stand aside. See you, Shu Zian's brilliant account, not even moving. It's just that the main gun and secondary gun are constantly adjusting their directions. Swish swish swish. The main gun, plus dozens of auxiliary guns, were directed at the same time. The students were shocked. Even the teacher was dumbfounded. I saw the shells of the main gun and the secondary gun all hitting the open space. Abe, there is no sign of ghosts. Missed. No, even if this thing misses, let's just say it's a little too far off. But, next second, a scene appeared that shocked them all into silence. See you, the shells were heading for that open space. But, the moment when the cannonball is about to hit the ground, a cat-human starship just happened to appear there. Even by zooming in on the camera, you can see into the cockpit behind. Meowth had a confused expression on his face. Obviously. When she suddenly ran here to avoid the shells. But instead, I saw that the cannonball was heading this way. That confusion. That kind of confusion. #B. At a loss. It filled her whole body and mind. At this time, she couldn't even hide anymore. All she could see was that a cannonball easily opened a hole in her energy shield. The remaining power did not diminish, and he easily opened the glass in front of his cockpit, and then the power was exhausted. She broke out in a cold sweat instantly. But, she didn't wait to rejoice. Then I saw a round of secondary artillery shells. It flew in through the hole made by the main gun with extreme accuracy. Meow Xiaomi's pretty baby fat face turned pale in an instant. Shu Zian, this is a deadly move. Am I going to die? Am I going to die like this at the hands of my classmates? Meow Xiaomi's eyes were blank. Besides, FTE. How is it done? Is it really that powerful? At the moment when I thought I was going to die. Instead, Meow Xiaomi turned her attention to the brilliant horn in the distance. Want before dying, will be Shu Zian, will be the appearance of the bright number. Deeply remember. And at the moment when the secondary gun exploded. Rescue for the terrified teacher has just arrived. It's too late. Boom. The sky is colorful. Instantly filled the cockpit of Meow Xiaomi. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.